Why, why is this not working? Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm gonna end it all. I'm not, I'm being silly. But like, hello? Oh, there you are. What the fuck are you, America? Fuck off. Sorry, digital coffee if you're American. Welcome in. Hello, hello, hello. Shit, I've got my timing wrong. I've just messaged Very Nice TV. I'll change the, what do you call it? I'll change it so that we can game for a little bit beforehand. I think that would actually be really nice. Digital coffee, welcome in anyway. Lovely to have you here. Okay. What happened today? Oh, nothing politics stuff. I got a lot going on IRL. A lot. And yeah. I often share the same opinion, and I am. Yeah. Yeah. So we are gonna have this conversation, guys. Just maybe not for like an hour or so. This is my fault, I'm sorry. I thought she was Eastern time, but she's not. She's Pacific time. This is my bad. Fuck off, America, with your fucking bullshit. Okay, we have a couple of options for games that people... Are people in the mood to watch me and Vez play Peak? And as someone else who has the game, if there's a community member who wants to play as well, that's an option. Peak is quite fun. Whoa, look at that hair. Can't believe how quick my hair grows back. It's wild. Fire mullet. Fire mullet. Anyway, welcome in, folks. Let me say hello to everyone. Mono, Shemin, Dan, King, Catgirl Steph. Lovely to have you here. Time zones are bullshit. Yeah, I agree. Thank you for the 7 stream streak. You got the hot sauce experience of working out earlier, which I guess I'll work out exactly how strong that and intense the workout was tomorrow. With Dom's Peak. Oh, I don't know if I have it downloaded, mate. It's not a big game though, so could be something I downloaded in the background. If it gets a bit laggy, tell me. How's everyone doing anyway? How are you all? Should we get an Othello? Should we get an Othello as well? Would you like an Othello? Holy shit, King! Thank you so much. Okay, should we get I'm gonna find some nicer music. Good, at least someone's saying it. Zach Polanski's doing, I guess, something there with that. I still retain my reservations about the Greens. But yeah, get fucking America out, cunts. Let's have something nicer. Yeah, this kind of vibe. Pre-dossier, early GWAT? What's GWAT? Enlistee, trust that no one can offend me more than my old boss concerning America being shit. What is GWAT? I'm British, don't me no understand what you say. Would you folks like to see Othello? Anyone want the doggo? Anyone want the doggo? Anyone want the doggo? Why didn't that come up? Why doesn't... That's why. Enlisted shorty. Oh, one of those. Holy shit. And how do you feel about that experience? Hello, Owen. How are you doing, my love? Nice to see you. There we go. Dog, yes or no? Pre-2003, yeah. Part of the huge enlistment campaign. Vitriolic? Yeah, so we've only just met, but I dog all the time. Okay, of course, of course. I'll tell the story after. Okay, Peak's already downloaded as well, so... And we didn't even drop a frame. Was this my internet working? Anyway, I'll go get Doggo. I present you the bestest boy. He is... Oh, you're so lucky to have his feature. Okay, maybe we can just hang out for a bit. I feel like gaming will put me in a bit of a weird headspace, actually, Vez. Sorry for umming and ahhing. I already am in a weird headspace. Hi guys, hope you're well. I think let's just have some downtime for a bit, actually. How's everyone doing? How is everyone doing? It's the 22nd. Like, how are people finding this whole thing? Yeah, digital. Need the fancy words for pissed, otherwise I'd swear like a sailor. You can swear here. I swear a lot. I did humanitarian EOD in Cambodia, and I did it with a lot of vets who were like ex-British Marines, so super, quite an elite fighting force who'd fought in like Iraq and Afghanistan, and they were some of the most like passionate anti-war people, to the point where they wanted to do this job, right? Like ever. There was one officer who was like not in any way ashamed of what the British military had done, but other than that, all the other guys were like really like, I fucking hate the British military. They take everything from you, and all you do is try and steal other people's lands and stuff. It's never about defending people, and their friends died. My friend said he saw his mate get his fucking head blasted in front of him. You know? Hi, Hydron. Hydron the Inquirer. Meso? Welcome in, friend. Thanks for coming back. Yes, his name is Othello. Hey, Sam, thanks. Oh, my dog. Yeah, he was like, why you not scratch me? I am trapped, please help. It's a weird time. It seems an appropriate response. I'm waiting for a build to complete before I cook dinner. A build in what sense? I can't have down... Oh my god, you have to study maths. I cannot think of anything worse. I'm so sorry. I removed all my dependencies on US products and services just to see if I could. Wow. Do you want to talk about that? That sounds interesting as fuck. Sounds like an officer. I mean, it does, right? Shit, what is the term, the slang term that they use for, like, wet behind the ears officers in the army? They use it themselves because they're all fucking posh kids. You know, from aristocratic families in the UK, and they're absolutely clueless, but they think the sun shines out of their arse. Not the best. I've been having a bunch of flare-ups on top of everything else. Yeah, I mean, health-wise, I'm freaking the fuck out, and I just hope that this treatment that I'm on is not too dangerous. I mean, I don't become a statistic somewhere. My life is differentials, matrices, and complex numbers for the next 3 days. Who's torturing you, Hydron? I can come and get them. I'm armed, remember? I can come get them for you. Why are they doing this to you? What are you doing that for? Like, personal development? Just out of interest? Differentials are infinitesimal changes in a function and its variable. What the fuck is that? In mathematics, differentials refers to several notions derived from the early days of calculus, put on a rigorous footing, such as infinitesimal differences and the derivative of functions. And infinitesimal, I don't even know how to say this word, that's how stupid I am, is a non-zero quantity that is closer to zero than any non-zero real number is. So everything up to, well, like 0.4999999 recurring or something. What the fuck is that? I feel sick. Fuck off. I am way too stupid to understand maths. I mean, good luck, mate. A university, no wonder. It seems like that's quite advanced stuff. My long-term partner, who I'm not with anymore, but she studied. She was doing a PhD in maths. The cheapest way to do it is to get the bundle from Prog AG for €10, 5 gig of encrypted storage, multiple emails, multiple VPNs, and various other stuff. Whoa. I mean, I was thinking of upgrading to Linux, and that will be a lot for me, and I'll need my hand held for like every step. But yeah, like, what exactly is the intended goal of what you're doing to try and divest from America as much as possible? I found out yesterday that I have to go to surgery for endo. Oh my god. Yeah, I can imagine you're a little bit stressed. Sending you so much positive vibes. Someone I know used to do nursing and surgery, and they like wrote their dissertation on literally like how stressful it is to go through surgery, any surgery, and how there's a psychological impact of going both from the day one of like the consultation to the the diagnosis to the actual surgery and the recovery. So I hope that you are like in a place where you can be look after a little bit, you know. I prefer chem to pure maths. I fucking hate absolutely hate chemistry as well. But I'm a biology bitch, okay? Give me your cells, give me their functions, give me their relationships with each other. It makes sense to me because it's like systems and often closed systems that are like new things come from. I don't know how to describe this. I find it easier to categorize the relationships in the way that biology looks at humans and other cell-based life. Like, so all life. But like, chemistry, when it gets down to that, it's not visceral to me. So it makes no sense. Math is like music. See, this I find interesting. I don't want to say I'm a trained musician, but I studied classical saxophone when I was a kid, and I have a musical ear, if that makes sense, and an understanding of things like different time signatures and stuff, right? But I don't find that complicated, but I do digest a lot of commercial music. It's just like alternative commercial music, right? So it could be that you're referring to something else. I want to take a break from college. The constant hours is doing a number on my physical and mental health. You've not been okay, Dan, at the moment, and I was trying to say, I took 6 months out of uni. No, 3 months it was in the end, sorry. 3 months out of uni where I didn't do anything in my masters because I really needed it because I'd been broken up with, and asked to like do some stuff later, and I was able to. So you might be able to have some time off. There should be someone in a department in your college who can answer those questions for you. Usually, in my experience, they'll work really hard to get you to graduate, so they want you to have time off and then come back. I've been evaluating Linux. Oh god, Owen, you need to make this much simpler for me. I feel overwhelmed already. Fucking new guy, Butterbar. The Brits use Rupert, it's that, you got it. An absolute Rupert. Yeah, he was one of them, right? Proper posh lad. And like his dad was like part of the colonizer forces in Northern Ireland, and he was like proud of it. And I'm like, I'm Irish. My name's Siobhan in real life. Like, nah, I don't see your fucking dad the same way. And he was like, oh, but it was really hard not knowing if he'd come home. Maybe he should go home then. Maybe he should fuck off to England then. You know? I had a Russian email address for 20 years, and it took me 36 hours to get off it. If the EU and US have a trade war, I don't want to be caught in the middle of it. I don't think that's going to happen. The EU have completely capitulated on everything that the Americans want, and they've framed it as in like Donald Trump doesn't have like boots on the ground and will own Greenland, but he owns the important bits that we've been looking at on this channel for a long time. I don't know if you've caught any of my analysis into Greenland, but I want to say I'm starting to really understand some of the forces at play. I was actually going to look at doing a stream tomorrow, a morning stream, depending on my health, about an update about where we're at, because this is colonization through different steps, and it's all about preserving NATO relationships and giving Americans more mining rights, which it always already has been. I'm an Apple user. My data is safe with China. I have no idea. I don't see why it would be any more or less safe than with the government here, you know? Also, hey love. Hope you're well. They found out I have something called unicornate uterus, and the only way to diagnose is through the surgery. Oh gosh, I've already been lining up friends and family. Oh my god, like lean into it as well. Like, we don't know each other, but still, do you know what I mean? If you need that rest, that is a very intense surgery. Please look after yourself. I'm planning a detailed blog post in alternatives. Okay. I love inorganic chem. Linux is great, but it is also a mess. I stand with Bjork. Bjork is surprisingly based about these matters, believe it or not. Bjork is not human, she is Fae. She is quite Fae, like, coded, isn't she? Should we just watch something nice? There's, some live footage, I guess, but it's also on Twitch. Fuck, what is the name of the... Zarf, I think it was you who sent this over. We could watch some of the protests of what's been happening in Minnesota. So Very Nice TV is from I want to say like Vegas-ish area, without doxing her, somewhere like that. Status Quo, I think it was them. Thank you. Try. Done. Oh my god, it's me. Cool. Cool, let's watch some stuff then. So for those who are coming in, I'm really sorry. I've got my time.
Thank you, Colin.
Hold on.
All right, hello everyone.
Hi, please stop shouting. We'll watch some of this. It'll be in about an hour that Very Nice is gonna come on. So we'll watch this stuff for now. Status Coup as a handle goes wild. Yeah, it's a snazzy name, that's for sure. I thought that the basis for the Greenlandic response was, we've seen how you treat indigenous people in the US. Please don't come here. Yes, but what you are... I guess what the mainstream media fails to disclose is that the status quo in Greenland is a very extractive colonial relationship around mining with the Danish government. They're colonial, like, overlords, right? And all the... this is what I said would happen, and I think probably will happen, but, like, the Danish will capitulate and just try and get a slice of the pie. At the moment, they make a colossal amount of money from mining. In a country where there are laws to try and stop people from mining, which is the Greenlandic parliament. But basically, I think that people are going to be like dispossessed and moved out from dangerous areas. They're going to label it as dangerous for their own health because of the uranium in the mines. And then the mines will be exploited, and the Danish will actually make money from it because they don't care about these people either, because they forcibly relocated them before anyway. So America gets everything it wants by doing nothing other than playing on the geopolitics. Not because of any master chess, but because he's like, I'll fucking kill you. And everyone's like, oh, I'm European, and why? I thought that this was supposed to be the thing that you did for, like, poor brown people in Venezuela, for instance, you know? But yeah, I met some uranium miners in Australia. I mean, whew, you would hope that the safety stand, it depends though, right? It's the dust that can kill you. It depends. This is what Little Bear was teaching me. Hold on. Yeah. I wrote up. I got myself like I write things now. So I wrote up all of this. And here is the point about uranium in the mines. And it's why they passed the law. Yeah. The concerns are based on scientific data and the experiences of other indigenous communities, such as the Deloitte people in northern Canada, Turtle Island, who have experienced decades of cancers, infertility, and other disastrous health issues, whilst the colonial Canadian government mined uranium, which some ending up being used in the Manhattan Project. Uranium-bearing ores are not inert. When disturbed, crushed and processed, they generate fine particulate dust and tailings that contain uranium and its radioactive decay products, including thorium-230 and radium-226, which can be inhaled or ingested through water. From what I read, so this was mainly Little Bear, this wasn't me. I looked a little bit and saw it's about the dust in the water, but then this science bit is genuinely LB helped me edit it just because I don't know science. As I just said. In Arctic and subarctic environments, these risks are magnified. Permafrost, shallow soils, and interconnected freshwater systems limit the effectiveness of containment. You have a lot of surface level water, and it's the permafrost further in, you can understand, right? If you have a water source, even what in other contexts would be less uranium dust than in other places, it's going to be substantially worse because of the water supply and the food supply, and the people in the village who live near this massive mine are you do a lot of fishing and whaling for food. So yeah, there are just so many ways, and there's some agriculture around there as well, like farms. While cold climates slow chemical breakdown and remediation, allowing contamination to persist for decades, local investigations highlight how wind-blown dust could spread radioactive particles beyond the mine site, while runoff could enter lakes and fuels relied upon for drinking water and subsistence fishing. Yeah, this was kind of the point, right? That there are pre-existing colonial relationships, and where did I say it? It is my opinion that no colonial power will seek to defend the very communities they exploit. The rights of indigenous communities in Greenland must be supported unconditionally. At the same time, it's essential to remain alert to diplomatic, commercial, and political pressures from Danish and American actors that may seek to normalize or legitimize the transfer of land and resources under unequal conditions. The status quo is already this. Thank you for adding your sources in the context of what you were talking about. Go use that fucking education for Summit, innit? Like good old Harvard. But yeah. And I do plan on writing a second thing on it. Right, let's take a little look. Some of the shit that went down, I guess.
In partnership with the Midas Touch Network, we are on the ground
Midas
in
Touch.
Minneapolis, downtown Minneapolis.
Midas
where
Touch are
behind
pretty
me,
fucking cringe,
a
not gonna
rally
lie.
is underway, calling on the Trump administration to end its occupation of the Twin Cities area and to not deploy federal troops that are rumored
1 second.
and reported to be readying for the potential of being put on an American city's streets as a way to police this community and bring it to heel for an authoritarian administration. This rally is underway.
Greenland they won their court case. They won their court case. That's the point. Wonder what the outcome was? Well, I am quite well read on this topic. So that was settled in November and they won. As in the Greenlandic Parliament won, and they didn't have the right to appeal either. And yeah, they shut down the uranium mine. The point being that they have complete sovereignty over their land, right? Which is unusual in terms of colonial relationships, but genuinely, like Owen, I think that's why it's a thing. It's why we're talking about this, because that is the biggest mining site for some critical minerals, like the second biggest in the world potentially. So that's why Donald Trump's like, I need it. And like they literally told us, the White House published a paper on the 14th that was like, I can do tariffs if I don't get if we don't get critical resources to national security, and it is. Which we explored before, and I've explored in that article. And then what happened, he used it to tariff people, or threaten tariffs. I don't think the deal has been finalized yet. This was a weird article that I'm not sure I believe as well. Macron, oh god, EU cope. They're such fucking little groveling bitches. Macron says Europe's unity, all vibes, no substance. Europe, yeah, there we go. NATO, we're gonna do everything that Trump says, but we're gonna frame it as if we won. Did Trump chicken out of Greenland? No. Oh my god, why are they like this? Hold on, let's watch. Europe did not find a backbone. They literally, from what I read, they've said he's had eye surgery. From what they said, like, America is having all the mineral rights. How is that not winning? You fucking dumb fucks. Yeah, okay, it's not war, but that's what Trump's doing. That's why he's done it like that. There is more in Australia, but they have better trading relationships with China because it's easier and simpler. Why would you not go to what is a country that's very close to you? And he is right in that, like, Greenland is a geopolitical, like, hotspot in terms of shipping and wanting to build. They want to build, like, security apparatus around there. But yeah, like, they, like I've been saying, like, it's not really, I can't understand how they're framing it as a win when they're letting bases on and they're giving all the resources to America. Like, if you think, of course, boots on the ground would be terrifying. Of course, like, buying Greenland is stupid. But how is this not hyperbole so that Trump gets what the fuck he wants for America and the EU gave him everything? Because they're little bitches. Russia and the US tried to annex Afghanistan? Yeah, a long time ago, but Venezuela is one of the largest proven oil reserves. Yep, Greenland goes without saying. Yeah, exactly. It's just that Trump's like, Trump can't even be bothered with the like Democrats who pretend, who are like, oh, we want to do in Afghanistan. We want to, like, bring in like democracy or some shit. You know, we're all about that here in America, and in what's definitely a functioning democracy. They didn't try to do regime change like they did in Iraq and Afghanistan, right? In Venezuela, they are doing this very strange thing where they're like, it's about drugs. Nah, it's not. Trump does one precedent view, and it's like, nah, it's about oil. It's about oil. Fuck it. And the Nobel Peace Prize, and you're like, he just tells tells everyone it is what it is. Yes, the USSR invaded Afghanistan for reasons I will never ever understand. But regardless, let's see how they frame it. Did Trump chicken out on Greenland? Let's find out what they say.
Kind of found a bit of backbone. We heard some language that we haven't really heard from European leaders before.
I fucking hate it here. I hate it here so much.
We prefer respect to bullies.
That'll do it. Oh, that'll do it.
The threat of additional tariffs for security reasons is simply wrong.
There is a real lingering sense in Europe. Something pretty fundamental has been broken.
It seems like Donald Trump has chickened out over Greenland. So can European leaders finally breathe a sigh of relief? Well, joining me is John Henley. Thanks so much for being with us, John. It's really great to see you. So walk me through what's happened, because obviously we've had a couple of weeks of pretty strident and aggressive threats from Donald Trump about his ambitions for Greenland, whether to buy it or perhaps even use military force to take it. But he seems like he's been walked back from the brink by European leaders. What's happened?
Yes, so Trump addressed the World Economic Forum in Davos in Switzerland yesterday, and I think what's fair to say was a very keenly awaited speech. I mean, it was a long and typically rambling...
I would say perhaps more rambling than usual. It was an extraordinary watch in its sort of waywardness, some appalling outward racism, but also repeatedly calling Greenland...
Hey, Bri, hope you will.
We can assume he meant Greenland.
Yes, exactly. I mean, and then it went off and he kind of digressed into, his pet hate of wind energy and had talked about uncontrolled immigration and how Europe was going to the dogs and what have you. But
who the fuck are these pricks? Like, how do I get this job? Like, how do I get the job where you actually know what you're talking about? But you do, or you're like, Trump's like crazy cash money journalism. Like, wow, we heard really strong language from Macron. The EU has completely capitulated. Like, I think I can't listen to these wankers. I can't like look at them. This is the intelligentsia of like posh people who studied at uni, who then went on to become journalists. Like, I wish people knew how fucking elitist the UK was. Everyone in media is like, comes from someone, is so fucking nepoed up. Yeah, have you heard about nepotism? Exactly. Like, it's nepo baby central up in this. And like, it's just so exhausting, innit? Like, they speak for us and they don't fucking have a clue what it's like. And I come from like a fucking middle class family. But it's just a totally different world. Like, whilst we never had to like struggle for food, I was adopted into a family, right? So you can't be adopted into someone who's financially insecure for the reasons I think you can all picture in your head. My dad worked quite hard so that he could get like a good job so that they could adopt at the time. The ethics of that are probably a bit too close to home for me to unpick. You know what I mean? But like, the life I grew up in is like completely divorced from what they are like, what these people are like. They go to the kinds of school, they're the kind of people who could go out on a Tuesday night in London to a pub and buy buy a drink in London, buy a drink, buy a couple of drinks, go for a night out just for the sake of it and socialize. They are generational wealth. They live next to someone who like knows someone, and like I don't know anybody like that. I know, I guess I know some people from my work and some people from my studies, but that's a different life. Like I don't understand that world, and it's just such a core part of Britain, and these people speak for us, and it's so frustrating. Mercy Ash, welcome in, friend. Trump said that there's a framework of a future deal that agrees for territory to allow the US to build its military presence there. That was already in place. It just has to be done via NATO. The key is minerals. Greenland's prime minister said Trump's demands have been unacceptable.
Talking about acquiring Greenland and so on, that's of course unacceptable. Until yesterday, we couldn't rule out anything. As I hear it, the will to have Greenland, to own Greenland, was still a part of the rhetoric yesterday. But as I said, respectful dialogue through the right channels is what we have been seeking from the get-go, and I also feel that's the intention now from the other parties, and I'm happy for that. The discussions between the president and Rutte yesterday was about the common goal, the thing we actually agree on. We have to do more on security in our area, in the Arctic area. We have had representatives from Greenland and the Danish government talking to Mark Rutte just a couple of days ago. And the impression I have is that what we said there, that we have some clear red lines, was been delivered to the president. Sovereignty is a red line.
NATO will definitely continue to exist. Like, honestly, the way the media covers this is wild. Like, Europe not willing. Yeah, see, Europe. Hey, actual honesty. Europe not willing to junk 80 years of good relations, fuck America, with the US despite Trump's behavior. Although everyone is relieved, we need to be ready for unpredictability. We need to discuss the plans for different scenarios. We need to focus back on where the problems lie, which is the war in Ukraine. They want people to not pay attention now because they're going to sell all the mineral rights. And they're going to fucking poison the people of Greenland. And they're going to shit on them. And like... that's the key. Like, if you think that these guys are different, yeah, they're not Trumpians, but they are like exploiters as well. Greenland deal is being worked on and will be amazing. And the Board of Peace is something the world has never seen. I mean, hey guys, I don't know if any of you have been following the Jack Smith testimony. Wait, what? Who that? Who's she? Why won't you investigate Democrats? Because they weren't the ones committing crimes? Sorry, no, I don't know who this is. Second, let me just move something around on my computer so you guys can see a bit better. Oh, yeah. There we go.
Trump is willing to force countless Minnesotans into poverty.
Oh, this is the PSL.
Will never be defeated. Because
hold on, let's go back.
Has been serving our country, as we know, over the past 50 days. It's been 50 days now. We've been occupied, and ICE is certainly taking its toll. We went from
that might be a blessing. If they leave, there's a bunch of patents that they own, so everyone can start making medicine outside of that bullshit patent, because patents kill.
Response efforts, mutual aid, distributing anti-ICE business kits, and of course, there's been an ongoing Whipple protest ever since Renee was murdered, and we've been supporting that with resources.
What's up, Anglo? How you doing, mate?
I also work here downtown, and I work on Lake Street, and I've seen
I'm hungry.
Pieces of the community missing every single day. I don't think the average person in our cities feels safe right now.
You guys saw the
It's
thing
interesting,
about
we're
kids being
standing,
picked up by ICE, right?
just 100 feet
Like,
from the
it's
public
really
safety
grim.
facility.
I mean, you saw the thing about like babies being picked up by ICE. Didn't patents murder HIV patients? We looked at this before. Yes and no. In general, just patents in general kill. But specifically, it's a slightly more complicated story. Did expensive patents cost Africans a lot of time and lives? Yes. But the South Africans quite famously pushed back on that and did something called the TRIPS waiver. So, which is a form of, I guess, resistance that was done with India and things that made the medicine like not like at cost expense, mainly produced in India. And that, yeah, probably, yeah, Big Pharma. Well, it was initially Big Pharma gatekeeping under safety, and then when they realized that they could sell the medicine overseas, they tripled the costs because they're like, what the fuck are you going to do about it? We've got the patent. And because like South Africa, India, and some other countries took the that principle to, we watched the whole documentary on this, guys, right? Took it to the WHO, and it was challenged by quite a lot of inside Big Pharma people who tried to be like, okay, but we'll do it, and we'll do it for cheaper, and you can give us all. It basically was supposed to become like a funnel of like government money back into them, but eventually they were able to pull it off and get cheaper medicine, if not completely like, why are we paying for medicine when we should be paying to make the medicine and like to give it to people and for studies. Like the shareholder thing in healthcare is, I think, is one of the worst examples of the modern world. But yeah, hey Star, welcome in. I'm good. I've been busy at work, been given the go to continue contacting parents for new referrals, so it's been non-stop. Oh gosh, I hope you have some time off as well. Hi Style, got you tabbed, nice. I hope you're enjoying dinner, whatever it is, cooking away in the background. I am not okay, but I am okay with not being okay. I just got a lot going on in life, got a lot going on in my mind, and I guess you just gotta roll with it. I'm glad I got a therapist. My parents are afraid my mum doesn't want to go anywhere. Her brother is a legal citizen. Oh shit. Her brother is a legal citizen who lives in another state, and he got detained, and according to my cousin, he got treated badly. I'm so fucking sorry, man. It's outrageous. Like, we had this thing called like the Home Office vans in the UK that we had to push back against, which was like grabbing people into vans in the middle of the night, which is scary and is horrible. But like ICE are just like armed Gestapo shit, and it's so scary. I'm so sorry that your I guess your uncle, that would be I guess Wandering Scorpio, was treated that way. Are you from a migrant family, or like a second generation family or something? Like, are you second generation or something like that? The person that we're going to speak to, very nice, is a citizen, but I think didn't she tell us her parents came from Mexico last time? I think. I'll ask her again. My parents immigrated from Mexico. Well, okay, well, there we go, right? So, hopefully this conversation might be something that you find interesting. I really like Very Nice TV. I've seen her like really grow in her like confidence in speaking, and I really, really, really like it. And it's great to see other like femme, non-white as well, like femme as in I'm white, but I think it's good. I'm tired, guys, I'm sorry. Me can't do words so good. I hope you know what I meant there. Community sort of actors and activists who are getting stuck in, and we'll listen to this guy as well, but Republicans whining that only Republicans were investigated for the Republican plot to overturn the election. I mean, who's going to do anything about it, though? Like, who's going to do nothing? I don't trust the Democrats to do shit. Philippe, welcome in, love. I hope you're well. Are they that stupid, or do we think they're that stupid? I mean, they do work really hard to keep their population uneducated in America. Even more than here, and it's pretty bad here. So, no comment, I guess. I'm gonna do a face scrub. I'm gonna do some self-care, guys. I really feel like I need it. So let's listen to some of these talks.
And I don't think people feel safe right now. Hennepin County sheriffs have about a dozen squad cars at the Bishop Whipple Federal Building. They are impeding observation. They are obstructing protesters. They're shielding ICE from accountability.
I give myself a rub for self-care. We have that in common. Oh, cat.
And there is no law that requires Hennepin County sheriffs to do this. This is a choice made by Sheriff Dewana Witt. And it just so happens her re-election campaign kicks off tonight. So yeah, I think we should probably do something about that. And if you know anyone who's going to be in around the famous Dave's on Highway 7 in Minnetonka, between 5 and 7 p.m., she's hosting her kickoff fundraiser. So maybe someone can go down and tell her how we feel about it.
Yeah.
Because federal, state, county officials, they owe us their transparency, and right now that is definitely not happening. So, you know, every day here, every day this week, and certainly on Friday, we are demanding accountability, and we are demanding transparency because public safety is for everyone, not just federal officers. Thank you very much, and let's just do my favorite.
I'm just going to go to the lobby and grab a snack, guys. I'll be 1 second.
No racist USA! No ICE! No KKK, 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 no racist USA! No KKK, no racist USA. Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for being out here in the cold. Woo! All right, we're going to do some chanting in Spanish. Thank you very much. Yeah, all right. Here we go. Repeat after me. Escucha, escucha. Estamos en la lucha. Escucha, escucha. Estamos en la lucha. Trump, escucha. Estamos en la lucha. ICE, escucha. Estamos en la lucha. Escucha, escucha. Estamos en la lucha. All right, we're going to do a new one. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido.
They tried to testify about it, and the Republicans are asking, oh, right, yeah. I guess I go in not thinking anything will happen from it, you know? So, folks, for people who have just joined, sorry, just so people know, in about 45 minutes, Very Nice should be on, just so you know.
Louder! Like you mean it! Jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido.
As they are
Jamás será vencido.
How is this
here,
lived
I wanna
up?
take
This is the
time to
PS.
remind you that we are completely reliant on you, our audience, for these
How is it lived up, Dan?
broadcasting
Like,
out
come
to
on, what
a
is it you
wider
expect to
audience.
see?
The best thing you can do is share or like the stream as a way to signal to
Like,
the
at that
algorithms.
point, what, do you want an armed resurrection where a lot of people die? Like, what is it that you're looking for it? Like, the PLS are an explicitly socialist organization and communist organization. What's... Like, what do they have to do in order to not be lived up? Like, how do you get people involved if it's not in protests and stuff? I go in there thinking this is it. Yeah, I mean, me as well.
This is something that people should be seeing, the way people are reacting here on the streets of Minneapolis to the Trump administration's occupation of the city.
Aquí, allá, el pueblo
I haven't seen them before.
vencerá.
They're a protest group or a political party or both? Both.
Thank you, everyone. Next up. Woo!
They're like further left than the DSA, for instance, but much smaller, obviously.
There we go. Next up, we have one more speaker.
This is in
Josh, Party for
Minnesota.
Socialism and Liberation. Give it up.
And it's from 2 days ago.
United will never be defeated.
There is Miss Anita. That's really funny because Kat was just talking about that. Oh, sorry.
Good evening, everyone. Who's ready to strike?
It is, isn't it? It is a tough
That is what I
fucking
like
gig.
to hear. My name is Josh. I'm a proud.
Excuse me, Josh. Miss Anita says there is a live hearing and Republicans just keep crying about how everyone after Donald Trump is a fucking train wreck. I mean, like I said, like, I just don't expect that, like, in their system, rich people or people who work on the behalf of rich people aren't held accountable. But you know what? Sometimes it's just so much chaos. I can only listen to, like, Donald Trump rambling through, like, I can only do so much of that, like, chaos. Do you know what I mean? Special counsel appointed to investigate Donald Trump being criticized for it. Yeah, of course. They're fucking orange fash daddy. They love him. How dare you? How dare you? You know? But yeah, Dan, I don't get where you saying something like this is so libbed up comes from. Why? How? You want people out there killing people or something? That's fucking horror. I don't know. You know, that's horrifying. Like, what is it? What's the missing socialist ingredient? Because they are a socialist party.
Mexican American, and I'm an organizer with the Party for Socialism and Liberation. Today, the day after Martin Luther King Day, we mark 1 year of Trump's bloodthirsty, racist administration. That's right. In our fight today, we continue Martin Luther King's legacy. That's right.
It does look very cold.
His struggle against
Typing? Okay, I'm just gonna go to the loo. Sorry, I forgot to
evils of
pee.
society. Racism, war, and poverty. That's right. 1 year in, Trump has demonstrated that this is exactly what his administration is all about. Throughout his term, he's sought to destroy the hard-earned gains from the struggle and sacrifice of the civil rights era. Today, we continue a tradition of walkouts from that very same era. We continue as people of conscience, refusing to accept injustice, refusing to participate in it, and refusing to let it continue any longer. In this moment, I'm reminded of the words of Coretta Scott King. Struggle is a never-ending process. Freedom is never really won. You earn it and win it in every generation. Well, today, in this historic moment,
Hey guys.
it is our turn to fight and win it.
Alright, let me pause and just welcome people in. Challenging the inherent power structure, not just blaming Trump. That's what they're doing. Challenge the Yankee, as in Yankee, mindset. I see a lot of USA socialists blame Trump, not the inherent white supremacy. I think that you've completely misunderstood who these people are. To put it really bluntly, Dan, I think you're being very cynical. I think like everyone I've spoken to kind of knows that, who is a socialist. It probably is a dynamic with some progressives. These aren't progressives, they're socialists. I don't know. I think the off the gun armchair criticizing is not a particularly useful thing to do on here when I'm trying to make a whole stream about trying to encourage people to get involved, because let's say there is that problem. Go change it. Go challenge that. Go part of be of that structure and like do challenge the inherent power structure, which like literally is what the PLS does, but PSL does. But like PLS is something from work. Like, come on, with this negativity, you know I love you, Dan. I just think that this is a very cynical attitude of literally this person spoke for like 3 seconds and you're like, lib, stop with this internet brain. This is not how we like... It's not how communications for organizing works in real life. Like, we can and will continue to joke at libs, you know? But I think that organizing in real life is very different from what it's like talking online. And I would just like chill out with being like, this person's a piece of shit. People are trying and people are learning. And you either shout at people to learn quicker or they won't, right? So even, let's say it's a bunch of very confused, problematic people that don't know how to work their way through this and are like trying to understand like, oh, it's not just Trump, it's white supremacy because the DNC are going to do that, like fucking coded politicians are going to do it anyway. They're pro-ICE, but in a different way. Like, I just feel sometimes there's this attitude that I really strongly resist from the fiber of my being of sitting back and critiquing someone who's trying to do something. They're more often than likely going to be wrong. And they will have to figure it out for themselves. But like, Dan, like, I'm sorry, I have to be super honest. The platform that these people stand on is like challenging inherent power structures. About the white supremacy thing, I don't know, because I mean they have a lot of like dynamics in America that I don't understand. But like, why do you want the conversation to be like? The conversation can be, where is the right fit for me, and who will rainbow coalition vibe up in here. You get what I mean, right? A lot of us here are in marginalized groups, but like, I just strongly encourage people to not come in and be like, fuck these fucking libs kind of attitude. If there is problems in the framing, we can discuss it. And if it comes up, but it didn't. And I don't understand where the critique has come from personally. Nom is saying it's going to be cold. Look after yourselves, America. Hi, Doof. How you doing, love? How's your recovery since your surgery? I hope you're okay. What about the hard-on gays? Yeah, I hope you're well, Anita. Could we get a shouty for Anita as well, please? Minus 40. That's wild. Jeez Louise. Good golly gosh. Look after yourself. I I never called you a twat, and I would never call you like a twat, my love. I wouldn't. Look, hands up. You know, with like your party collapsing, I've been cynical as fuck as well. I'm so doom-pilled at the moment. I'm dealing with a lot in my private life that is huge, and it is very challenging. Because we're all seeing this, and you know everything that's going on, and like, yeah, how are we supposed to care for ourselves and nurture our little Maslow hierarchy higher needs when just we are, yeah, so often spending all of our days just trying to build the very basics of having a house, a roof over our head, and for me, a functioning immune system, which is impossible, I think. And work, which who knows. I'm alright, I'm just working. Can we get a shouty for Miss Anita and Doof, please? Two lovely, fantastic streamers. Lefties, queer femmes, so we love it. We love them. America is looking at an inch of freezing rain. Gosh, that's too many. That is too many. She too many. Go fix her. Liberation, not liberalism. Oh my god, thanks. Look, I'm not like on it today. Zarf, I'm sorry. Thank you. Thanks. I'd rather have a loser who doesn't know what they're doing than no one doing anything. Well, I don't know if it's purity testing bullshit. Like, you can demand better from people who are trying to do this, but I think sitting back, like, be a part of that in a conversation. I can bring that up with Very Nice. Very Nice is like a woman in a marginalized community. She's Latina, who's stepping up. So like, what she's supposed to do, she's one go, you know what I mean? And like, trying to meet this, from my understanding, we're gonna learn a bit more, but like hanging out with the Socialist Rifle Association, getting fucking strapped up and stuff, but like, she's out there doing the thing. And maybe that thing can become better, because that is organizing. It is a protest, not just taxes and protesting. It's building something, which is a much more prolonged process. And you can definitely have, Dan, the place that you want to be. But when you are organizing, if you do not give people the grace to change, they won't, and it will fall apart. You know? And believe me, I'll point this out. The dynamics of gender-based dynamics in organizing have been very frustrating to me in the UK left. Very frustrating throughout my entire life, right? Yeah. I will never be listened to and understood in the way that like men apparently can command authority in places, and that is a dynamic that I don't want to be there. But it is in organizing, and I would like it to end. But I don't see how just criticizing it comes to the same conclusion. It's like a process. Fabuli, hi. Hope you're okay, my love. People contain fucking magnitudes and can have. People contain fucking magnitudes is something that I wish. Look. I have a line. I don't engage with fascists here. We don't debate. I don't try and change people. I'm not about that. I prefer to speak to people who are like on the left or marginalized people, because that's who I am, and it fosters a better conversation for us online. But that people are fucking magnitudes. I don't mean, therefore we have to go cuddle a Nazi, but like us, our group, are magnitudes. We're such infinite fuckingly complex people, and if we don't give people the capacity for fundamental realization, like, yeah, I don't know what we can do then, because then we've lost, right? We have lost, because the status quo is so terrible. Yeah, they're a bit more prepared for weather, like Vev says, double ice threat. But I'd never call you a twat, Dan. I would never say that to you, my love. Ever, ever, ever. The right eye's fucked. Shit, mate. I'm sorry. Everyone start eating sunflower seeds. I promise it makes life worth living. I do like I do like sunflower seeds. Roasted with salt. I had a bit of a step back because of autism and rabbit holes, and you end up being upset at everything, including myself. Yeah, of course. Only do that by how you can, like, your capabilities are your capabilities. You should respect them, and everyone else should. Don't worry, Joff. It's up to us staunch leftists and marginalised people to be the example for the libs and bring them to being full leftists. It's up to us to educate them aggressively on the very things that make them libs and why that aligns with right-wing fascism. I mean, the use of the word aggressive there, I think, don't stand down, I agree with, but it depends what you mean via aggression. I'll be really honest in that never in my life have I been able to change someone by shouting, and there are times and spaces for constructive conversations around, like, the dynamics between men and women and other minority genders, right, in activist spaces. Even if I'm really mad and have been mad and have had reasons to be, like, mad, I personally think the core where I differ from some people, maybe, which is fine. I'm not here to manage how you have relationships, you know, it's your own business, but I do think the 80-20 thing of allowing people to talk at you and then trying to listen so that you build it back up into them is, like, has been studied to show it's the most effective way of changing someone who is willing to change. That's why we don't bother with, like, fascists. With libs, I don't know, Anita. I think that personally, maybe I'm being cynical now. Maybe this is my cynicism. I think they got to change kind of first, and they got to want what you've said for it to work. Or you'll, like, waste a lot of energy. That's my experience, and maybe I'm being a cynical fuck, you know? But when someone is, like, rocking up to the cafe where we take food that was going to be thrown out by the local supermarket, and we, like, make a meal for the local community and bring people together, and there's, like, a guy who's, like, a bit crusty and a bit problematic, but is, like, kind of wants to be there. I think that he's showing up, he's trying to do something, let's say, but the paradigm changes when he starts coming to, like, the discussion meetings, and when we start meeting as community, like, organisers and talking to the community and stuff, and the conversations that he has, and then our conversations with him. But there's already an element of, like, buy-in, and I think someone has to show that behaviour first for it to be worth it. And then if someone is really fucking problematic, you have to lay down the law and maybe get rid of them, but it depends. You need a base to start from. You can't magic consciousness from the very air. And, like, I was really liberal growing up. It's only because I'm Irish that I kind of knew what colonialism was, because I was adopted out of Ireland. It's why I don't have an accent, but I grew up in the UK. Like, I was raised to be at least conceptually aware of where I am from, and that you cannot understand the history of Ireland without understanding the history of colonization of Ireland, right? So I, like, kind of knew, but I didn't know. I was lib to fuck. I was like, I can't wait for, like, gay marriage, then I'll be happy. Like, 16-year-old me was a fucking moron. Do you know what I mean? Like, 16-year-old me was like, I get a wife, and then I go to get a very good job, and I'll get a house. Like, I was a fucking idiot. You know? I know it can be frustrating, you know? Especially building community is hard as fuck. God, I can't even imagine what it's like, Anita, in LA. LA to me, challenge me if I'm wrong, but LA to me is, like, the epitome of I guess, hyper individualism, where I don't think I would like last very long inside of LA. I think I would find the way that people like communicate with one another in LA like hell, like literal hell. Like my neurodivergence means that like I very much value transparency in language, and I can be very perceptive to when someone is like bullshitting themselves and other people, or I think I am. Who knows? I could be like completely wrong. But I feel I can understand when social dynamics are built on houses of cards and air, and like nothing is underneath, nothing of actual substance. People are just sort of being social, finding weird ways of like finding space to uplift each other about how good they are. And in LA, it's all to do with your individual personhood product. So I can't imagine, like, if individualism is a barrier to class consciousness and the consciousness that's needed to understand why you should seek liberation for other people of all marginalized groups, right? Just getting past that first hurdle must be really difficult. Common ground, many people want and need the same thing. I guess that's where we got to start, Fabuli. It's the tried old tested method. When Very Nice comes on, I'll ask her some of these questions as well, because I think finding out how she basically started to organize and how she sort of built herself up will be a really interesting story in light of everything that we're hearing. Libs like to be coddled, they like to be corrected and think it's their idea. I'm currently studying to be a teacher and I think it's more impactful to lead them to the correct answer and let them figure it out. That is how I feel. To be like questioning some of the underlying assumptions. I will give you the example of like Greenland, what I was discussing earlier. And the underlying assumption is that Denmark doesn't colonize Greenland anymore, and that these are like forces that one side seeks to better the Greenlandic people more than the other. And as I keep on presenting evidence to you guys, that's not the case, because the status quo is incredibly exploitative of the Inuit community in Greenland. The way that you could bring that conversation up with someone would be like nothing to do with what I just said. They'd be like, oh, he's mad about Greenland, isn't he? And you could just be like, I wonder what it is in the land that, what do you think it is in the land that like makes him care so much? And then push them a particular way. And then like sometimes I do this thing where like I'm speaking to my lib friends and I like use a fact that's really important and I'm like, I've just found this out. Oh my god, I haven't, you know. It's kind of like Chavez with the coup that was against him. With my mate the other day, I was like, do you know, I found out, you won't believe this, in like the Norseys they tried to do this before. Did you know that? I knew that years ago, you know. But like it kind of makes it your friends be like, oh, I've got secret knowledge. And then hopefully they're like, it at least kind of sows some doubt in their mindset. But I mean, I don't know. I guess I got my... Dan, please don't apologize. I know that you're going through a lot. Dan, I love you. No. Dan, cuddles for you. I understand, Dan. I sometimes feel really doomer. And I don't think that you need to apologize for feeling the way that you feel right now. I think that that's an authentic, like, expression of exasperation at the lack of the left being able to assemble itself particularly well. But the purpose of today is to bring the people who are starting to try that process. It won't be done in our lifetime. It won't. But we do it because there is no alternative, you know? Well, the alternative is embrace the sweet chaos of just the destruction of the fucking world, you know? Or take a middle-class job in America and get a middle-class life and completely disengage, which I don't think is any of you guys, you know? Aggressive education is something that libs don't respond to like kids. Aggressively... Okay, I'm not coddling people. Nobody coddled me. In fact, I receive the very opposite. I go by the pull yourself up vibes because I'm genderqueer. I mean, sometimes I do ask myself, am I this way in communication because of being feminized, like being raised as a femme? To which I don't know the answer to, you know? But I guess, look, like I said, I'm not here to tell you how you should do it, but I will share what I think is the best way personally. And we are okay to disagree, and sometimes if you want to shout at people who aren't like stepping the fuck up, I do understand that. It's not like I think what people are getting at here, like it's rooted in reality. Some of these organizations can be very problematic. A process. But I think as long as we acknowledge that it's a process, not an end that we jump into, and it's just there, oh my god, the liberation, you know? Then we can kind of honor every individual's journey through that. You can't control and I can't control whether that happens, only that person can, ultimately as well. Where it's out of both of our styles of engagements. Control. We don't know. You just gotta hope that people come around. And there are things like ICE, detention, kids. Like the thing that's come out today. I reject the term marginalized people. I prefer cool kids. Yeah. I mean, we agree in terms of educate, I guess. And I you know, I respect you, Miss Anita. I've watched like lots of your protest streams and stuff. I know that you do know what you're talking about. If we were comrades in the same space, we would just have a different way of approaching things, and I think that's okay. But my point being, we both would be in those spaces. I know you're there because I've seen you there. That's your streams, you know? Ice agents slipping and falling on ice. Yeah, it's a little bit of comic relief. Maybe we can look at that after we look at this, because this is grim. But the point I was going to make is really some of this is outside of our control because so much of it is like manufacturing consent by mainstream media. We've seen chuds basically say that the queer woman who was shot needed to die. It was her fault, and we know it's because she's queer, right? And left wing. And when you are othered, like, her whiteness is a part of it. And initially I thought people would be more upset and pissed off. But I think people are upset and pissed off because she's white, so it's seen more. But she is queer, and that's being used to like spread hatred against her as well, and every queer person in America also. People tie themselves in knots justifying everything that ICE is doing. We might see it with this. All I can say is when we... I will ask you folks, because we have quite a nice audience here today, and thank you guys for spending your evening or afternoon with me. I do appreciate having you folks tuned in, viewing and engaging greatly. I want you to all think of someone in your head who is someone who's like a DNC kind of Gavin Newsom Democrat, who is having conflicting emotions of like, I kind of don't want brown people near me. Let's just call it what it is. They're super racist, and they think that there is an immigration problem that needs to be fixed. So they see something like this, and they're like, So what we need to do is train ICE better so that they don't pick up kids. Or when they pick up kids, they treat them well. And we need to train ICE better so that they don't shoot a bitch in the face, right? Or shoot a fucking Venezuelan. Or shoot an unarmed black guy, which happened the week before. Like, we just need to, like, train the system out with magic. With these fucking, like, fascistic, no due diligence, Nazi thug boots. How do we get the person in that mindset to understand that we need to bring them along the bounding ladder of consciousness, right? How do we get them to the point where they are like, no, there shouldn't be any ICE. No, that's not okay. No, it's this whole fucking migration system, because these people are my neighbors. Like, how do you get them there? How do you get them to not just offset their horror about seeing a 5-year-old fucking stolen from school? Which is, what the fuck, man, right? To a point where they realize it is about the system, it is not about bad actors, and then hopefully to the point where they want to do something. Usually, protests are the place where you build enough people and you share communications in that space so that you can do it rapidly. But I completely acknowledge that it's a very hard task. I was born, doofus, Roma, in a poor country and gay. My personal approach is to teach with a compassion and patience, the same way I would teach children. It is challenging, yeah. It is fucking challenging. Seeds? What? Seeds in Spain? I never said I don't have... I think I understand, like, there's passion and fire behind what you're saying, Miss Anita, if that makes sense. And you won't back down, which I respect. Like, I think I understand the dynamic, the communication dynamic that you're trying to sort of unpick. But have you seen the clips of Hassan speaking to the MAGA parents? No, I'm not really much of a Hassan watcher. But I am aware of it. I saw someone else watching it. I mean, these were people who were having a lot of cognitive dissonance, right? And, like, the purpose of that exercise, from what I understand, was demonstrating the kind of the dynamics that I just spoke about, but actually with chud parents. I mean, I don't know if that's the best use of your time. Yeah. I don't think I can change Nazis' minds. I'm a gay. I'm a very butch lesbian. I'm 38. I'm, like, quite upfront. Not aggressive, but upfront about my beliefs. With all of my friends IRL who aren't political as well. I don't... Look, if someone wants to try that, whatever, I don't think... Did it work, actually, wandering? That's my question. What were the parents like by the end of it? Was it a frustrating experience for everyone involved? Was there some kind of change? Did any thinking actually happen? I mean, yeah. And strategy? I would use Yeah. You can't tell a lib they're being racist. You just can't. They won't ever believe it. It is really hard to get people to understand that white supremacy is the norm. And I acknowledge completely that it was for me as a privileged white woman. I think people need to realize that you are speaking about a structural thing that is about social relationships. As opposed to, like, I think you're saying a racist thing and that's bad because saying a racist thing is bad. It's like, no, the structure of the world that we live in is racist and you need to recognize that as best as you can. I think a big divide is working outside the system versus working with, and the important bit is what their end goals are. I think that you need to do both. I agree, Kat, and I think it's so clear to me you need to do both. And all I can say is I don't think I'm going to change with that opinion. I think electoralism has a place, protest has a place, mutual aid has a place, organising has a place. Getting fucking like strapped up, don't you motherfuckers talk to me about no fucking straps, okay? You fucking little thirsty pricks. But like, you get strapped the fuck up with guns. With guns. You cheeky wankers. And you do all of it, what you can, right? We've got to remember, like, loads of middle class people live in America, and until that changes, it's going to be hard. Fabulous, like you read my mind, but 5 minutes ago. Sorry, I'm a bit behind on chat. The resistance is rooted in their comfort, and they're loath to lose it. Yeah, exactly. I've spoken about this. There's someone in my family who has gone from like very high functioning to disabled, like in the space of like a week or two, and he's having there's a lot going on, you know? And I wouldn't say this to his face, but it's like, this is happening because you are experiencing oppression, you know? Welcome. It's shit. You know? Like, oh look, when this bitch here, your big sister, has been fucking yabbiting about structural discrimination, she wasn't speaking out of her ass, you know? Enlighten liberals, you probably can't, you know? Happy wife, happy. I was the same way, Sisbor. I was so tapped in because I grew up in such a conservative area, in a liberal family. Exact same for me, actually. Exactly the same for me. Very, very conservative around here. My family are liberal with a socialist and trade union background, which was good, but maybe not as radical. I'm the most radical of my family. But like it's said to me in an incredibly patronizing way, where like I have won awards for my masters, and I've now worked in several countries and am like respected in my field. But because my politics are radical, like I have people who are close to me and love me and care for me be like, you have a very like teenage angsty approach to politics. And I'm like, no, I'm just fucking right and angry because of the injustices in the system. And to get people to the point where they realize they've been lied to so much about things like foreign policy, or the big thing for me, and Kat, I don't know if you're still here, but like I tried quite hard to be like, I think the Labour Party is terrible for XYZ when they were coming in, and that there was a tiny shred of hope. This isn't aimed at you, by the way, but like we had this conversation as well. You never disrespected me in it though. And I was explaining the dynamics, the political and economic dynamics of the Keir Starmer party. And the only thing that I got wrong is I did not realise how inept they'd be at governing. Like, they presented themselves as the adults in the room, and they're absolutely not. But when I have these conversations, I basically get told, like, I don't know what I'm talking about because I'm radical. And I'm like, no... If you don't start with money and power, like you don't start with anything. If you just start with vibes, like Donald Trump's personality in Greenland, you come to the complete wrong conclusion. Talking to people here in a social setting like a bar is basically blabbing about your accomplishments. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I'm quite behind on chat. I'm not ignoring you. Tens of millions of people, and I don't talk to any of them. That's my impression. My advisor in college told me I'd be too nice to be a lawyer. It is a pretty cutthroat world. Yeah. I'd have done nice law, like human rights. I mean, I work with some human rights lawyers, and I mean, it's a labor of love. I'll say that. I'd wanted to go into environmental law. I mean, strategic litigation has its place in the arsenal of things that you can like use to fight against things. Again, I'm like, do all of them. There isn't like, you can read all the like what Lenin did and stuff. Yeah, and that might help. But this is now and this is the present, and that's dialectical materialism, is figuring out how to organize in relation to the dialectics of the world that you live in. So reading that kind of stuff is only going to get you so far. And I think I get shouted at by, or just like told I don't know what I'm talking about, you know, again, by men on the internet who are like, no, you just haven't read it well, or you don't know what you're talking about. And then I never see them fucking in the kitchens of the fucking mutual aid organization, do I? Oh, very nice, has messaged me. No worries. Right, she's gonna be here in like, 5-10 minutes. Cool. Sorry I'm behind on chat, guys. We all have the same aim, and different people will have different responses. There are people who would only respond if it's aggressive. I wanted to share my approach. Oh yeah, sorry, we're talking about this. I was made to swear an oath every single day for commitment of excellence and fair treatment, and I appreciate what it takes as your desire to protect your space from lock and loaded harassment and the reduction of others to singular dismissive terms. The former is never fully present and conscious. The latter is one of the most disheartening aspects of culture. There is something about, what I would tell you though, digital, is, I genuinely mean this, the way people speak to one another online in terms of that, like, really bad faith, like, you're a bad person approach is not how organizing works in real life. Let's say there's a problem with, like, someone I watch a lot, Jason D100, will be a great person. I'm going to do a shout out for you to understand some of the problems in terms of white supremacy in organizations. Calling that out and wanting dialogue is fine and normal, and I encourage it and support it. He's not like, don't fucking join, burn everything, fuck it. Like, he wants things to be better, and that's different. And I think that there's a way you can do it, basically. But I know that a lot of time and energy is spent online, literally talking other leftists out of, or people who are being radicalized by the moment that we live in, from turning up at the protest, from doing the thing, from starting to Google what the fuck is mutual aid, for example. Do you know what I mean? And I find it frustrating as well. All I can tell you is forever on this platform and in my real life, I will be told that I don't understand what I'm talking about. That's just the way it goes, you know? If someone is like, I think you're framing it a wrong way, and maybe you should see it this way, because I will have so many blind spots. I will have so many ways of, like, the fact that I am a product of white supremacy as the main example. I commit to trying to make sure I keep my eyes open and listening with that, because I think I have had some reflections recently as well. I just don't see why, when some people are having, I see these conversations take place well in other spaces because I'm there in the chats. Like Little Bear, Jason D100, a bunch of other streamers, you know, who are like Dave Legend, whoever, right? But then I see a very different approach in other spaces, and I don't want that. It's just not who I am. I don't want that. Like you said, disheartening. It is disheartening. Solidarity is so good for us. Solidarity is enriching. I keep on telling folks, like, the happiest I've ever been in my life was when I was very embedded in community spaces and mutual aid. I was doing some of the most radical stuff of my life while studying, and I didn't know it at the time. I have never felt more connected to my community than I did in those years. It was probably the happiest years of my life. I also had 5 girlfriends. That may or may not have been a part of it as well. No, I'm joking. But, like, genuinely. And we were deep in fucking white supremacy austerity in the UK then, like we are now. That's not changed. You know, the wider structure of America has, the UK hasn't changed. I think it's good for you to get stuck in. And the paradox of me being like, everyone watch me on Twitch to go away and go do something. I know. You know, I know. But yeah, I'm rambling a bit. Sorry, guys. Very nice will be on soon. It is a matter of decorum. They want to believe the system. Yes, exactly, Ox. And I don't know how you get people to realize that the system's fucked up. And I don't know if, like, it always has to be that people become marginalized or something. But there are going to be moments of radicalization in this process for a lot of people. You have to connect to their own personal experience and where the state has failed them. Then you've got to explain why they're failures and how they're rooted in the structures and systems within which we live. And then you can get them to empathize with someone else who's targeted by the same mechanisms, but in a different way for the same goal of supporting capitalism. I completely agree. What I would say, thinking about it, fleshing out the convo that we're having, if you have a comrade who's being shitty, you can hold them accountable. And, like, that's the beginning and end of that conversation. There are, like, men inside of leftist spaces who use it to date and prey on people. And it's creepy. And it's weird. You know? You might have to convince them that change is possible. They probably will go through what we are all going through, and I think we're all, like, acknowledging that. I might feel really cynical and shit tomorrow and be like, what's the point? And then you guys have to try and perk me up. But I would just stick with that kind of inherent thing of, like, knowing that being involved and being a part of it gave me so much richness in life. And that I do think it's the only thing that we can do. What I meant is people get lost arguing about methods. Yeah. You can tell the lib they're being racially insensitive or ignorant, but if you tell them liberalism isn't left-wing, they start to filter you out, because that is the fundamental problem, is that they think of individuals and social relationships as between individuals rather than us. Boom, boom, boom. Here it comes, guys. Fucking 5-finger forehead, like 3D chess statement from Hot Sauce. We live in a society. But, like, you are not an individual. You are a sum of a billion different interactions and people that came before you in a historical process. Is a very, to think of yourself sat in a process that you can't control, that controls you, is very scary as leftists, right? But liberals are like, I'm the superhero that will become the activist that changes things. And it's like, I think you have to watch people go through that. I think I probably started off as that, like, because I was involved with the, like, marriage equality thing in the UK. I think I have been through this process myself, you know? My family are Labour, but it's not like the Labour that exists, so my political upbringing is confusing. You're also a woman, so of course, yeah, like, I'm a woman, so I'm not taken seriously. Even by men who tell me that that's not a dynamic of theirs, I'm like, I know that you don't think that I understand, and that you're patronising me, and that it doesn't matter that I have, like, extensively tried to apply dialectical materialism to different forms of my analysis, and I actually do that in work every day. And, like, it doesn't matter, right? Like, I can be wrong, though. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying I can't be wrong. I absolutely am wrong, will continue to be wrong. But I just noticed that there's a lot of, like, sweetie, you don't get it kind of things from that. Like, a lot of men in my life. I love them, though, and maybe one day they'll respect me. But yeah. Hey, Maya, how are you doing? I hope you are well. Sorry I'm a bit behind as well. I'm quite... Abelin, thank you so much. I have had quite a bit of fun streaming recently. I've had a nice... I found it a very enjoyable thing to be involved in. And I feel like I know what I want to do, and I'm going to keep on doing it. And I am very grateful to people who come in and spend time with me and watch with me and listen to me ramble and yab it on and try and work it out with you guys, right? Like, maybe to go back on what I just said, maybe I don't fucking know shit, you know? But I am learning as well. I'm trying to navigate my way through this whilst navigating a life-ruining illness. And my entire life, IRL, is changing in very fundamental ways that are quite bad. And I'm trying to work out how to deal with that. But I have a therapist, so... seeing the news coming out of Rojava, I can't speak about that. I find that. I think you guys know why. Keeps bringing me tears. Gaza, I know it's fucking, like, the setup. I don't know. Look, Dan, I know. But what can we do? We can continue to fundraise. We continue to listen to our Palestinian friends. We continue to try BDS. We continue to try put pressure. We go out to protests. I don't know. We don't give up. Seeing queer comrades at home and in the Yankee state being suppressed and oppressed. Yeah, I know. Going through the motions. I feel you. Dan, I go through those emotions as well. I think I'm quite transparent about that flummox and being all over the place. Like, I don't want this, like, I don't know. I don't want a dynamic where I'm not honest about also feeling that insecurity about not knowing. And then just being told, like, read Lenin. I'm like, I have read Lenin. I don't get how this fucking applies to an ununionized, like, British, like, labour class that's totally got, like, zero, like, it's 100% white supremacy, 100% patriarchy, 100% fucking cucked fucking worker, 0% class conscious. And all the fucking vanguardists are fucking weirdo turfs that do nothing. What the fuck am I supposed to do apart from big up the unions, big up the community spaces, big up the mutual aid, big up my fucking queer sisters, particularly trans sisters who are trying to fight back, right? What the fuck else am I supposed to do through dialectics, you know? I don't get it. This is my personal bugbear though, you know, I need to let it go. Have a good day, Kat. A good day. People often inclined to feel threatened to rationalize what they've been told, but the approach is key. Coming back from overseas, full of pins, screws, and scars, and living in the pickup of a truck, being told by a professor of how privileged I am, got my bristles in response. Coffee and cigarettes and convos on the street swayed me far more than a Lexus driving wasp regurgitating shame packaged as substance. I think what you'd find digital is a lot of people here are like from a community or a background where they are not the waspy Lexus people at all. They're like the disabled people. They're the like old women who have had many different fucking experiences, you know what I'm getting at in life that's dictated where they're at. They are queer people, they're people of color, they're immigrants, at least in this space, you know, which that person's relationship with class is the overlying structure of their relationship with, I think, what you're saying. There's a bunch of privileged, rich lesbians and queer people, you know. They don't have any... My politics is paradigmically different from theirs. But I think you're right. Socialist half, right? I really get it. It's hard not to be doomer, especially as someone who's disabled, still having family, not want to pay attention to what's going on in a city that ICE is actively in. The thing that has kept me going is mutual aid. It's helpful to do something tangible. I agree. My cam isn't starting. Technical difficulties, but I'll be on as soon as I fix. Ooh, young servo. Thank you so much. for the random in the wild Twitch sub. Super duper appreciated. Sorry, someone was here I wanted to shout out. Sorry I got so behind on chat, guys. That was a complete ramble. I'm sorry. Just like I wish sometimes people in real life like treated me with kind of respect and understanding. Thought I saw RFK was here. Am I being blind? I swear. Maybe I'm being blind. JFK, there you are. Every time I call you RFK. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Hey JFK. Welcome in love. I'm so sorry. Every goddamn time. Thank you, young sir. We're just waiting for oh yeah. We're waiting for Very Nice to start her camera and get it working. Brainworms running the fam. I think I got brainworms. I'm like not very able to form very good points, guys. I can feel it. I'm not being very erudite because just like I'm just very fragmented at the moment, and I'm sorry. I might do some more therapy sessions basically at the moment. But thank you so much. Young Servo, I will do 10 push-ups for you, as is the law in Hot Sauce Land. I just need to take some meds as well. Let's do a med check. If you need to take medication, guys, you're someone who needs meds. You all need water, so you have a big drink of water right fucking now. Med check, med check, med check. As Ray K would say, have you taken your meds? Have you taken your meds? Read all of the marks, but in the German original text. Yeah, look, I will be very transparent. I really struggle with Marx. Das Kapital is really hard. And like, yo, you fucking... He was a young Hegelian. You read Hegel? What the fuck is Hegel on about, man? Like, I kind of get it. Sense, like the immediate sense stuff in terms of... Hegel... My take is that Hegel would fucking hate streamers, and he would actually think that streamers are some of the worst things possible, like React streams. And it's like an affront to human consciousness because it's like building in takes that are not dialectical. I mean, that's my... I don't know... And then you read Hegel and you have no fucking idea what he's on about. And then like Marx is like, here is some fucking cloth. 5 chapters. And then Engels is like going off on one as well, you know? You got me hyped. I've been in the gym working on my guns. Yo, fucking love to hear it, man. Hell yeah. Love it, love it, love it. Don't forget to you have to be a little bit out there to have a Hegel fixation. I mean, ask our boy Uwu Marx, who we've got here. I got to read that shit in groups. Yeah, that is like, I was kind of like taking the piss a bit of reading groups the other day, but yeah, that's a much better place to do that. I would say like as a part of a political party like the PLS and stuff who were watching. Or if you were a member of the Communist Marxist Party of Kenya, you have a 6-week education that you have to do, similar to the Black Panthers, right? I think that she's live. Let me knock. I'm gonna knock. She's starting soon. We'll see. Freaky Carl. Hegel wrote like he was popping pills. Yo, Hegel was fucking smoking something, I swear. Like, do you know what I mean? And like Marx is like, no materialism. And Hegel's like, it's so like draws from Blunt deeply. Like, hey man, have you ever thought that we're like, the whole world is just thoughts knocking around, and then they start in one form and then they bounce off another form and they become a new form, and that's like the nature of truth in the universe, man, and like the ideas of the universe, bro. But like he means it. I think that's what I've understood from Hegel. Oh, hold on. Oh, wait. Hold on. Start sharing chat. Cool. I can't hear very nice TV if they're...
I'm so bad at this.
Hello. Hold on. I have to just get OBS camera working so I can bring it up your side as well.
Awesome.
Just give me a sec. Hi, love. Don't worry. We can both kind of muck around with tech a little bit. Okay. Source. Video capture. Okay. Right. I'll just get my camera up for a second. If you can't bring your camera up the side that you're... Right, I've got my camera up. If you can't get your camera up here, don't worry. Like, I can just stream your stream, if that makes sense, with your face on it. Because they can see me anyway.
Alrighty, let me do some... Is there double sound on your end, or...?
There's some music. Let me turn it off. There. Is that better for you?
Oh, yes.
Awesome. Yeah, sometimes it like...
Or maybe not.
Blasts out the music. As well.
I'm not sure if it's the music, but as long as it doesn't interfere with like the stream, like your stream or my stream, I think we're fine. I don't mind hearing an echo.
You can hear an echo. I wonder... It might be set...
Like I said, I don't mind it.
It might be distracting for you, though. What about your chat? Like, if it's an echo, it might be distracting for them as well.
It looks like my chat only sees single sound, right, guys?
Single sound on our side? Okay.
Yeah.
No echo for you. Hello, hello, hi, I'm lesbian hot sauce. Hello, hello, hello.
You know, echo here. Yeah, okay, it's fine then. I can work with it. I don't mind.
Okay, yeah.
Mind, like, my mind's all over the place.
Is there any way you could share the camera to... You click it as like the OBS source? Because then people can see you like real time, if that makes sense. actually this way we've got like a 5-second delay of you talking, so it's a little bit strange. Like we can hear you and then you start moving like about 10 seconds after.
Oh, geez. Okay, yeah, I'm working on it.
No worries, no worries.
Okay.
I will do an intro whilst that's getting set up, so don't worry. I don't understand time, so I was here 2 hours ago because I'm stupid. Sorry about that. I'm
Oh my
yeah,
god, no.
not the sharpest tool in
Sorry.
the box here. Everyone, this is Very Nice TV, who I want you all to go follow right now. Very Nice TV is a kind of like sad girl, like an ex-e girl who's become a political streamer, which is cool. We fucking love femmes here. Shout out to the femmes. The e-girls are radicalizing and we love it. And about, I guess like maybe 2 years ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, you started to like stream more political stuff. And every time I like kind of get a chance to kind of hit up Very Nice and see how she's doing and like see her on stream or stuff, she's basically stuck the fuck in like organizing and like doing a lot of things that we're going to talk about today that are sort of trying to combat some of the very scary things that are happening in America, predominantly around ICE. And did I get this right? Your parents are from Mexico. You are born American citizen as well. Is that your background? Was I wrong?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. Born
Okay, yeah.
and raised right here in America.
Born and bred red-blooded American. Okay, yeah.
Right.
Hell yeah, brother. Awesome. Right, you've got the video up. Let me bring it up so people can see. I'll just be 1 sec. Right, folks, let me just switch things around a little bit. Is that gonna work? No, you don't need to see my studies of rituximab B-cell recovery. You need to see, is it that? Yes, there we go. Whoa, double hot sauce as well. Okay, let's make Very Nice a little bit bigger. So, folks, without further ado, I don't know if you would like to introduce yourself to people as well, and I can introduce myself to your community as well. Hello, by the way, nice to meet you all.
Hey, you can start up. I'm still like working on the tech.
No worries. Okay, I'll introduce myself. Hi, guys. Hello. Excuse me. The Very Nice community. Lovely to meet you all. My name is Lesbian Hot Sauce. I'm like a leftist and organizer from the UK. I'm old as shit. And I've been around for a while and I've been trying to fight the good fight. And I recognize for a lot of people, it's a really scary time right now. It is in the UK as well. It is, we got a whole white supremacy of our own, you know? And I have a history of being involved in a lot of like movements, I guess. Whether that be on the street protests or trying to form socialist parties, gosh, which never works for some reason, but for another reason. That's me, and I am gay as fuck, and I lift.
I love that.
Yep, unashamedly so. But it's nice to meet you all. If you are ready, would you like to introduce yourself to folks?
Yes, ma'am. I don't know how chat feels about this layout at all, but I'm gonna make it this way temporarily. It's just it's like
It's
me
a
in the
bit like
background and then you and
shambled
I in the
together my
foreground.
end as well. Don't worry, we got it. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so I'm also I'll admit like I'm really bad at intros. So bear with me. But okay, so where do I start? So hi guys, very nice here. Um, let's see. I started this stream as I mean, she kind of hit hit the nail on the head. Like I started just gaming, um, but I've always been very interested in politics. I guess, yeah. Like I wouldn't say always, but ever since I got out of high school, you could say. Let's put it like that.
Mhm.
And I actually started when I was working. Um, so for my during my job, like my day job, I guess. The only job I had at that point, I don't know why I'm saying day job, but I used to listen to Hassan like on live stream because he kind of just goes and does politics all day, so it's like really easy to like work and passively
Put it on
listen.
in the
And
background.
so the exactly, yes. Um, so that's how I even found out about Twitch in the first place. Um, and I almost felt like I'm like, you know, I don't know. I feel like I want to start my own thing after like after my I don't know, I got so like the company I worked for got bought out, and so I kind of just had this period where I'm just like I don't know what the fuck to do for employment. I was already looking for a job
Yep.
beforehand.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Shit.
And I'm like I don't know what to do, so I'm just like, well, let me just start like streaming and shit,
Mhm.
see how that works. um and so I started doing that. And again, like at first I was just like okay, not doing anything political. But eventually I'm like fuck everything. I think what really hit the with like the my ticking point, I guess tipping point,
Mhm.
was when I realized that like the community itself, like the gaming community that I was fostering, was very toxic and like toxic masculinity, a lot of it.
Mm.
And so I'm just like, yeah, fuck this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start like inserting my opinion on everything, and
Oh
I'm
my god,
gonna
I love
start
it.
speaking out against the shit that I need to speak out against.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I started.
I mean, all fucking power to you. I it I find it very interesting that a couple of like femme streamers have started off that way. And yeah, I think it's a very different relationship with your chat, right? And now you are like, fuck this. Basically. Like, nah, I got
Yeah.
some shit to say and I want to be heard. And like, you are a femme non-white woman, so my assumption is that sometimes people are fucking assholes to you and patronizing assholes, and like I don't know, that's what I think a lot of people of color particularly and femmes experience on this platform. But I hope
Yep.
that it's still been I hope that it's still a process that you like get something out of and you feel like you have something to say, you want to learn how to say it, and like you continue to do it, because whenever I get to catch you, I really do enjoy hanging out.
Oh, thank
Mhm.
you. Oh gosh, thank you.
Okay, I have some questions, I guess, where it would be nice if we could sort of paint a picture of how you. Here's my interpretation from speaking to you for over 2 years now. I think you've become quite radical and fucking cool. And like, you're out there doing it. And I'm like, this is sick as fuck. And like, we should share this as much as possible. Like, whenever I check in with you, you're like doing some anti-ice thing, or you're like, I'm going to the fucking like gun fucking club like every week to learn how to protect yourself and stuff. And I know a lot of people feel very disempowered at the moment, and maybe there are some things holding them back from like going out and doing the thing. So does it make sense for us to kind of have a conversation about, I don't know the time frame of what that is for you, but was there a place where you started where it's like you were a little bit more like um not in community spaces, not kind of connecting the dots that we connect now, where it's like, you got to get the fuck out there. The community are the people that can change it, not Gavin Newsom or something. When was what were you like kind of at the start of that process? What was your beginnings, of your political awakenings? Like you said, you'd always been political and you started watching Hassan. But like where did you begin, if that makes sense?
Like, do you mean like specifically like community organizing with the community?
I guess where were
Uh,
you before you did that, and what led to organizing in the community at whatever period of life that is? I obviously only know about the most recent organizing that you've done, just because that's been the nature of our conversations, but it may have happened before. But like, I don't know if this rings true to you. Um, I find a lot of people care about politics and then will like get into a very particular kind of politics, like watching CNN or something. Whereas you are trying to go to a community and get organized. Do you know what I mean? And there's like two
yeah.
different ways. Were you ever that kind of like CNN watcher and changed, or were you always a community like, nah, fuck this, I'm out, I'm trying to be with the people, I'm trying to be the person that helps build solidarity amongst folks?
So I love that question. So I'm gonna and tell you like when I became like how my whole process went. There's like I see what you're saying. It was never like a CNN, MSNBC kind of thing.
Yeah.
I started off like I would say my big enlightenment moment. It was in college.
Hmm.
So during college, I had to do a lot of research papers. So um, knowing the information that I knew, I realized that the shit that should be and the shit that is are two completely different things. So I went and I got an economics degree. Um,
Wow. Hats off to you.
oh, thank
That's
you.
impressive. I hated economics in my economics classes. Well done. That's some real
I
socialist
mean,
shit there. People don't know. People don't know. You understand economics, you understand the world.
kind of, yeah. It's
Yeah.
just it's just like how you make decisions given scarce resources. Uh, but oh, so sorry. So economics. Oh yeah. So I had to write a lot of research papers. Some of it had to do with the death penalty, whether or not it should be a thing in the
Yeah.
United States. Um, Healthcare.
Mm.
Speaking of healthcare, one of the one of the things that really opened up my mind to this was when I had a it was a critical thinking class, philosophy, critical thinking.
Hmm.
So philosophy 201, um, and um, she showed us the movie Sicko, um,
I think
and
I've
it was
heard of this. Yeah.
Sicko. Yeah, yeah. Um,
Is it Michael Moore?
so more, yes,
Yeah,
that's the
yeah,
one.
yeah.
That's the one. That's
Who speaks about like the NHS and then basically tries to utilize it to expose what's wrong with the American system.
yeah,
Hi,
exactly. And
indoctrination.
it's NHS. He goes to Canada. He even goes to Cuba.
Yeah,
It's so
Cuba are
funny to think
fucking
that.
like smashing a lot of health outcomes, like creating their own fucking vaccines against different kinds of cancers, whilst being
Exactly.
under an embargo. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised actually to hear healthcare. I think, like, aside from the fact that we can kind of laugh that Luigi Mangioni's like hot, like real talk, that like, I think a lot of people were kind of like, I think violence is bad, which obviously we think violence is bad on Twitch. We would never say anything else on this god-given platform. Um, but like a lot of people are like, I do fucking like absolutely hate like the healthcare system. And I think everyone in America, unless they're super elite, know someone who's had their life ruined by it. My brother is one of these people, right? And he's getting like, it's a whole thing. I won't bring it up, but like I can see it, and it's actually radicalizing him. And I'm like, I think people have an idea of what that system's going to be like, that it will work, and that for profit is good, right? That's what you're told. It's great. We pay our doctors well. We have the best healthcare. That's the propaganda. And then you need healthcare. At some point, most of us need that. And you realize it's just a complete pack of capitalist house of cards, and it falls apart. And you have to spend your time like negotiating with your insurer to get the things that you need, instead of spending your time with a clinician who, like, you're not a white woman, so already the second you step into a doctor's clinic, there can be preconceived notions that doctors have that they don't like offer you the correct kind of fucking medical attention because of loads of structural stuff. And then on top of that is like, you have this fucking private insurance system that is absolutely not about providing healthcare for people. It is absolutely, and always will be until it's completely abolished, about making rich people rich. And I can imagine, did you have that? You don't have to answer if it's too personal, but was there anything personal as well that sort of happened, or anything that you saw in your life with people where you were like, what the fuck, like, that sort of brought it home? Or was it more that this process of you accessing education and I guess breaking free a little bit of the propaganda of America, it was kind of that, but in a like an academic forum?
It was more for me. It was more academic, and also uh, it's just no empathy. Like I'm like, so you're telling me if you don't have money, um,
You die.
you might yeah you die, exactly, you die or you suffer a whole bunch.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just I don't like I just think that healthcare is a fucking it shouldn't be a privilege, it should be a right.
If we have to labor for a state, that state should absolutely provide us with healthcare, housing, energy, transport, you know, like at absolute
Yes.
minimums. And apparently it's radical to say those things, but hey, Peacefire Now, hope you're doing well. Lots of love. Can we get a shouty for Peacefire Now? That's okay. That's cool. That's interesting. Did you get involved in any community spaces at uni? Because actually, my personal story is like maybe slightly different. But when uni for me was a massive radicalizing moment where I studied politics and economics. Not very good at the economics though, mate. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, oh, so boring. I was all into like the anti-colonial stuff, right? Which is where I like ended up kind of going into for work and stuff. But like, fucking like supply, demand, blah blah blah. Like, I'm so bored. Apart from Marxist economics, which I enjoyed, right? Because it's about the relationships that exist in society, which is a very different way than liberals look at the world. But whilst I was at uni, I met a bunch of people who just I'm a little country bumpkin. I come from a really rural place in the UK. I'm surrounded by conservatives. It's very white here. I was like the only gay in the village vibe. It was an interesting. It was a very challenging childhood, actually. In some ways, I did not have a lot of spaces that I was free to express and understand things. And then I went to uni as a kind of like marginalized person to a certain extent, and was like very overwhelmed by all these like very loud anarchists. And I was like, oh, like I kind of like think they're really cool, but I'm so fucking intimidated by them as well, because they were so like passionate, you know. And like loads of them had been doing activism beforehand. And Dan earlier was talking about Syria. So there was a socialist project in Syria that unfortunately this week has fallen. And someone I know that I met in the first week of uni, she went out and she fought with the Kurdish, the socialist Kurdish the feminist cause, and unfortunately she died. So like,
I'm so sorry.
yeah, it's why I can't like talk about it too much because I cry every time. But like, these were the kind of people I met, and my mind was blown because it was that like I was like, hi, I'm hot sauce liberal. I'm gonna get a gay marriage. Me, age like 17, 18, idiot. And like, I can do it. We can change the world, and gay marriage is everything we need. And then was like, bam, put into all of these dynamics of understanding like Marxism, colonialism, and it was all around austerity being brought in really hard in the UK. And that process, I think there was like no turning back. So did you have anything where it was like you were in the classroom and you were studying and you were like, what the fuck, this fucking healthcare thing, I don't like this? Did you join any like groups or organizations, or did that come later?
Yeah, no, for me that came later. My school, like the most quote unquote woke thing I saw was like it was just one demonstration. And I really admired that when I saw it, but it was I don't even know what the organization was called, like the name of the organization, but basically it was uh I, it was a a trans person um, with a microphone telling people, well, telling the audience that, how they went through an attack and they got attacked in in public because they are trans.
Yeah,
Um,
targeted.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Just a hate crime
Yeah.
that happened. And I saw that. I very much admired them. I had no idea. I think I wish I had like been able to join that group, but I didn't keep up. I didn't know how to. But I do remember one thing that pissed me the hell off. Um, during that speech, some
Oh
fucking
god.
asshole was like, "No, it didn't happen." And I just saw so many fucking dickheads around me,
Yeah.
just like the frat boys,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. Was
Yeah,
the
just
like mainstream culture very like blokey, yeah, frat boy, like to laugh at that person and to mock them and to further harass them instead of listening to them?
yeah,
Like, yeah.
exactly. It's
But
disgusting.
you listened, I guess, being the key there, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. What is it, if you don't mind me asking, you don't need to be explicit if it's doxing or anything, but that you do nowadays in terms of organizing? Because we've spoken before, and I think there are a couple of orgs that you spend some time with. Would you like to speak about them? But if you want to change names so that you don't dox yourself, do what makes you feel comfortable and safe. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Well, I can tell you what the specific, like the main organization that I work, uh, organize with, I should say. Um, so I'll just call them the organization for now.
the
I think maybe
organization.
yeah, I am thinking about giving you guys putting a link up with like the PayPal that they have.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not PayPal, but the money stuff donation. Because they are running low on funds. But
Okay.
let me describe what they do. Uh, so they they do a lot. So every time I try to hone in on one thing, my mind is like, oh crap! There's
Don't
like
worry,
six
mate.
different
I
things.
understand with ADHD, and it's like sometimes with my parents, my dad like asks me a question, and I'm like, "You don't understand. I can't answer this because I'm answering it 800 times in my head." So don't worry, don't worry. Um, What I'd say is we can check out the donation link, make sure it doesn't dox it, but absolutely, please share that around if they're running low on funds. But I guess I could ask a question: is this an organization that existed before the recent iteration, the upscaling of ICE? Or has it emerged? It did. Okay, so it came before, and it's just has it had to scale its responses to kind of the increasing militarization and mass expansion of ICE that has happened under the Trump regime? But obviously, it like happened before, right? Under the Democrats, but in a different form. So they existed before.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You're asking if they had to expand because of it?
As well, yeah. I'm guessing they did, but
Yes. Yeah, that's why we're running low on funds. So um, we aid those who are victims of ICE, and that is extremely expensive, especially right now. During these actually this year, this to 2026, I just found out that they have expanded their efforts here. They have increased the amount of kidnappings that they're doing here. um, and so all those people, there's only one fund that helps um, provide material support, and it's us. So it's a huge backlog.
Can I ask a question and only answer what is suitable for you to answer? You know what I mean? Err on the side of caution. I completely trust you. In terms of material support, what does this look like? Is it like support with legal defense? Is it support with like I've seen things like people running cars and getting families out and getting them away from ICE as quick as they can, and like some community groups are doing that. Like, is there a particular approach, if you feel comfortable sharing, to delivering that material aid?
Um, let's see. I'm trying to think what they would say
Yeah.
in public versus not.
Look, let's just
But
we can just call it you give them you give them fucking support where it's needed, right? Because their life's being torn apart. Yeah, we can leave it at that. Don't worry. Don't worry.
okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Sorry, continue.
oh yeah, I know. I hate to leave it like that, especially if
It's
I'm
okay.
being, you know. But what I can tell you is some of their testimony that they've sent over. Um, one family, um, they, oh god, I do have the video, but I'll just paraphrase it. But they interviewed two people, and one of them said that the lawyers who they hired to aid them in their case took their money, and they said, your name isn't even in the system, we can't help you. Bye. And now they don't, they're stuck. Like, what, they just took all the money and ran.
Oh
And
my
who's gonna
god.
help them?
So people are like exploiting this dynamic basically and being like, I'll help you. Oh my god. I mean, I believe it. Like, there are abuses in humanitarian aid. Do you know what I mean? Like, fuck me, this world sometimes. When you're speaking about people, is this at a time where they have been arrested and they've been abducted? Is it post that, when they are going through essentially processing? Or you can maybe explain to me, I'm a bit ignorant about this. This is what I see happening. There is some kind of fucking list somewhere of like, we don't know the documentation for these people, and it's racist as fuck, right? Like the paradigm of that we don't know documentation because of how people can get documentation is racist as fuck, right? Therefore, anywhere that we know on our, I don't know if it's like an AI driven system, we're going to bring people in the ICE vans using all this tech that they have now, and they like swarm in on somewhere where they think someone who is a illegal, whatever the fuck that means, right? Person or family members are, and this is what I see. They capture them, they tear their fucking families apart, or they shoot several people in the meantime doing this, terrorize the entire fucking neighborhood, and then they will split the families apart and take them off sometimes to like different detention centers, and then those people have to wait there. And I don't know if those people in those centers, I don't know what access to legal recourse they have. My assumption was it was very minimal because so many people are being deported. But until they're in that detention facility, until that process has been met out by the state, their liberty is gone. They are captured, if that makes sense. Whether they're the 5-year-old that we saw in the news earlier or someone else. Am I right, or have I misunderstood?
You pretty much have the gist of it, yeah.
Okay.
As far as I know, like I wish I mean, I'm trying to get. So when it comes to like exactly how ICE operates here, um, yeah, it is more targeted here right now. Now, once they start doing the raids, like they were doing in California, like you see in Minnesota, like you see, you know, all across these Democratic states, that's when they just grab everyone they see that looks brown.
Fucking hell. Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, but you got it. You basically hit the nail on the head with the way that you described it.
I watched on, I don't know if you've heard of the streamer Vorlo. He is Latin. I think his family's Mexican. I'm really sorry if it's not. I can't remember. But he is like yourself, really like deep in the. I've spelled it wrong. I don't know who Vol is. Don't follow whoever that is, guys. I'm gonna do it correctly. Hold on. I watched on his stream the other day footage of and maybe this is what's happening in your area, but I watched footage of someone, basically ICE using munitions to blow the door off a home so that they could jump in and do a targeted, like, I guess, a targeted pickup, kidnapping. Let's call it what it is. So you're saying there are a couple of different ways they do like the targeted pickups, and then they do the mass thing, which is what we've seen in Minnesota and stuff.
Yeah, the raids. Yes, 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 yes. I kind of wish I had brought my notes because I do have the different ways that ICE conducts their operations, and all of them vary in terms of the research done ahead of time, and it basically yeah. So like the raids are like some of the worst things, the worst ways that they can do it. I get, but now they're doing door to door. You know, they're doing door knocking operations where they're just knocking on everyone's door in Minnesota.
Jeez.
So it's just one step above raids. That was in Project 2025. So I told my parents, I was like, you guys know they're going to do that, right? They're like, no, they're not. They're really going after criminals. I'm like, Mom, Dad, there's not that many undocumented criminals.
Yeah. I know. I mean, I didn't want to bring that up because I know that must be a very challenging dynamic for you to have parents that like sort of believe Trump, and you are like literally being a part of campaign groups to try and protect your communities from ICE, right? Have you seen, you don't have to answer this, have you seen any change in their attitude from any of the chaos that they're seeing on their TV?
Oh yeah, definitely. There's they no longer support, well, they no longer support Trump. My dad is a weird one though. He's overly passive to the point where I'm like, he's overly passive to the point where it turns into support for Trump with the passivity that he is
Yeah,
showing.
like
He,
the status quo is still kids being fucking taken off the streets. Like, and did you see Fox News
exactly.
is like, it was about a criminal record. It's a 5-year-old. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You know?
It's
Um,
disgusting.
yeah, I mean, that must be really frustrating. Like, not giving a shit. I don't know. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe it's the thing that we were speaking about, which is, you said something earlier that I logged into, where it's like, you're like empathy. You don't want a system where people don't get healthcare. You want a different thing. And I mean, I think that's the experience of a lot of people, is like genuinely wanting the people and the communities around them to do better and to be able to live better lives. And it's one of those things, once you've seen all the injustices and all the barriers, it's like, what am I going to do? I can't ignore them anymore. I have to do something, because this is my community. Like, we did the conversation, if you remember, when the like rioting kicked off in the UK again, and I was just like, even though I'm like a very sick human being, I was like, I have to get out. Like, I have to be a part of a community that challenges this. We can't allow it. Like, it's so crippling and crushing, to see such like white supremacist interpersonal and state violence playing out in both of our societies in different ways. We have like Nazi thugs, and now they're putting on suits to win elections, which is terrifying, but we don't have guns, right? So the violence is manifested in different ways. Um,
Yeah.
for this uh, community group that you're organizing with, and you're supporting, what is the what is it like there in terms of like how people are trying to find solutions? Do you have a team of people who are sort of specialists and maybe legal experts who provide again, OPSEC first, don't worry. But like, is there like clearly delineated skill sets that people can provide to, or is it just like you put money in a collective effort and you pull that out in the material ways that we mentioned earlier?
I when it comes to legal aid, we're connected to much bigger organizations.
Right, who have the
Uh,
capacity to have like lawyers, right? And that's
yes.
expensive, and you're finding out people are taking the piss out of. I mean, I'm not surprised to hear you say that, but like, I, I don't know what kind of hellish person is like, I'm gonna see a family. I mean, a lawyer, right? I guess that's the joke. But like, I've seen a family abused by a system, and I'm gonna pretend to help them and steal their money. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? I hope there's a hell and you're in it. I don't think there will be though. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Um, Straight to jail is all I'd say with those people. But
Right.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Have there been like people who've been able to be helped meaningfully by this process? Have you seen any like families reunited or people brought back and things? Like, or where you're at right now, is it for your city and for the groups that you're working with? It's like this the rapid escalation has happened over the past like year ish, the huge step up in operations, um, and you're just trying to fight all these individual fires at the moment. Um,
For the most part, it is fighting individual fires, and so they do send us like their individual testimonies, um, and so while we do, let's just put it like the help that we give them is a drop in the bucket for what they actually need.
yeah,
So some of them lose the care, the main moneymaker. Like there has been deportations, and so once that person gets deported, we the somebody's got to take over, and sometimes the mother is a stay-at-home mother. And so it's even hard for them to like uh have to be the caretaker, and then like it's a balancing act.
Yeah.
um
Well, they get
and so
forced to.
it's
Their family gets terrorized into a very rapid responsibilities where it's like you have to now do everything whilst suffering from the trauma of having your partner, the main breadwinner, as it were, like ripped from the family dynamic. Is it often targeting men and family breadwinners, or is it whoever the fuck they can get? Like, um,
that's a good question. I'm not 100% sure. I do know that breadwinners are have gotten taken, but I just
don't know if it's
I
by
don't know if it's the
design or
target.
just. Sorry, love. Say again.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it's by design. Yes, you got it.
Yeah, yeah. Fair enough. Um, cool. Do you feel, how to describe this? How do you feel about the work you do? Because like what we're talking about is really fucking intense. We're talking about kids being taken from their homes. We're talking about like peak jackboot white supremacy gunning down like fucking Venezuelans, like killing people, destroying homes, destroying lives, like in ways that I think will be so hard for people to recover from. But you are doing something. You are fucking doing something, which is the key of what we're trying to get at here. How do you feel? I guess when I say that, do you feel like, do you get more angry at things? Do you get like, oh, I'm doing my bit, so that's good? Or what's the experience been like for you actually being in the thick of it, trying, if that makes sense?
In the thick of it. I mean, it's a lot of it is a lot of anger. But this is my way of getting that anger out in a way. Is like saying, fuck you, we're going to organize, we're going to become more tight knit, we're going to become more of a collective. And you know what? Like, we have a group of women that are getting training every single week. Um, and actually, with that, on that subject, we have there's a local group here, um, and it's kind of like an offspring of the original, the one that I was just telling you about,
Yeah.
and where they teach people self-defense,
Mm-hmm.
whether that be, you know, with their body, or with Second Amendment tools. And
Hell yeah,
so,
brother. But no, like
exactly.
yeah, like I basically, the paradigm in America is state violence. So if you are a minority, you need to be armed to be able to defend yourself, and you should do it safely. I know that you've been going through gun training. Out of interest, what does that look like? Because I we don't do the guns here apart from these ones. Hi, but like we don't do it here, right? I've the only time I've held a gun in my life is when I was in Alaska and I was given a shotgun by someone who was really drunk, and I was like, this is terrible. It wasn't loaded. It wasn't loaded. And there was no ammunition nearby, but I was like, literally the only thing I know is that this is like the stupidest thing, and I don't think that this person is very safe. Like, I don't know anything about gun control or gun. Me no gun. Me no not gun. Me not gun. And I shouldn't have this, and you're drunk, so I'm gonna put it away. But like, that's it. That's the only time that I've like ever held a gun in my life. And it was pretty terrifying. But what's your experience as a fucking woman, as a minority who's like, yeah, I guess aware of these issues in the world, stepping up with your community, learning how to defend yourselves when it comes down to it? And I think everyone in chat gets this. there's a reason you might need a gun right now, you know? Like, these fucking jackboots are not fucking around. They will kill people. They will continue to kill people.
Yeah. Well, my experience, the first time I ever shot a gun was well, I've only ever shot a gun at a range. um, Knock on wood. But so oh yeah, so the very first time that I ever handled a gun, it's almost like I had a very it was a lot of power on my hands, and I'm like, wow, this is literally built to take someone's life away, and I'm holding it. And
Mm.
it's a very, like, it's daunting. I'll say. But then, I was very, like, I'll admit, like, the very first time that I ever used it, it was nerve-wracking.
Yeah,
It was so
like,
nerve-wracking.
does it feel like you're like, whoa, this is a thing that could kill? And like, if I don't do this right, like someone, including you, could get hurt, you know?
Hmm.
From my
Exactly,
understanding
yes.
of gun owners, I think they would say, chat, correct me if I'm wrong, Americans, I'm a fucking Brit, don't know what I'm talking about, but like, isn't it supposed to be seen as like you're supposed to have quite a healthy fear and respect for guns? You like that's supposed to be kind of like in the background is this sort of understanding that this thing is that powerful and it needs to be treated in a certain way, locked up or
Yep.
something like that, you know? Hi, DJ.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I
Are
mean,
you
don't
training
don't take
with
that.
who are you training with? If you don't mind me asking, that might not be suitable, but is it with the community?
Yeah, okay. Well, it is sponsored um by an unsavory organization.
Okay.
I'll say that much. It is sponsored,
Oh, I
but
think I can connect those dots. Yeah. Okay.
yes, yes. But I mean, I'm just it's capitalism. You gotta take the goddamn resources when you can.
I mean,
So it's
the dual power thing of bringing in other ways to fund things sometimes takes time, right? It takes time to be able to make your own money for these things. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. And the way, so they're the ones that do the classes every week. However, I found out about it through the self-defense group. And so the way that the self-defense group does it uh, is we all the they all kind of get together once a week, and we all go to the practice, to target practice. So we kind of infiltrated.
I love it. I have such a fucking good mental image. Like it's very cool. Um and defense classes as well, I guess. Do you know if in your area, just out of interest, I know that you're not this isn't the kind of place that you're using your time in specifically, but yeah, I was in another leftist Discord, and they're talking about some people basically what they do is they try to find out where ICE is going, and they follow them, and then they try to, what's the word, I guess, predict, and they find the families through this big network, and they get the families out, and they like just literally like drive off and take stuff so that ICE can't find them. Is there anything like that in your area? Like, obviously, we don't need to detail the specifics or nothing because that would be feddy as fuck. But like,
Hmm.
is that a kind of thing that happens? Is there this where I picture you? Excuse my ADHD brain as well. Sorry, I'm rambling to fuck. But where I guess my question is where I picture you is if organizing is a ball and a jigsaw where holistically we're trying to change something, you are a part of that. You are part of that emotion with what you're doing. And the way I see it is, you see it as the small thing that can never be enough. And I see it as the small thing that has to connect with the next thing and the next thing and the next thing for it to eventually become enough. But the only thing that you can do is to continue to build that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Are there other, in this puzzle blob group of other holistic approaches to supporting people who are victims of ICE? Is there a lot more stuff that you see in your city, in your area, of people providing stuff?
Yes, yes. So the the group, my main group, they don't, they, I think they tried that for a little bit. It just did not work out. And so they didn't, they just they started focusing on the fund
Right.
that they run. However, there is another group out here, and
Oh gosh, sorry, we're having a raid. Sorry. Sorry, I've got my raider.
Oh, you're fine.
Hello, welcome raiders. Lisa is learning. Welcome in. Don't worry, we'll start the question again. I can remember it. Break it down, bitch. Break it down, bitch. Hello, welcome in, raiders. Welcome to the chaos. Thank you so much, Lisa is learning, for the raid. Super duper appreciated. Lovely to meet you. How are you? I hope that your stream was great. What were you learning about today? Hope you guys had a good one. Let's get a follow on that, and let's get a shouty for Lisa. Yeah, welcome in. My name's Lesbian Hot Sauce Raiders. I'm a variety, chaotic ADHD leftist, very gay, very confused, sometimes makes sense, more frequently rambles. And I'm here with a fucking fabulous guest who is Very Nice TV. And we are discussing how to, I guess we're learning a bit about Very Nice TV, which is lovely. And we're kind of learning how to get, like, what getting involved when you're trying to resist ICE looks like by literally someone who's doing it. And it's cool as fuck. So welcome in, settle in. You can give both of us a follow if you would like. And I'm going to give Very Nice a shout out in a sec as well. I'm a fellow leftist covering American politics. Okay, well, you guys are at home then here. So welcome in. Here are two more femmes who are doing exactly the same. So lovely to meet you as well. I don't know if you want to introduce yourself, or we could just continue with the questions. It's up to you, dude.
Introduce myself to the Raiders. Hello, Raiders. Hi. I'm the very awkward, very, very nice
You are
TV.
That is not true.
I always feel like I maybe it's just I'm just self-conscious or something. I don't know. But I've tried to tune into Lisa's Learnings channel. She's really cool. She's really cool. I follow her.
Awesome.
Because I saw her. I don't even know how I found the channel, but that's so cool that she came in here. So hi, Raiders. I stream every Tuesday and Thursday. Leftist political streamer till PM PST. So
bam, on it. You got that locked down. Okay, we were basically talking about so Very Nice is getting stuck in and involved in a couple of key ways to try and protect her community from ICE fucking hooligans, and is like educating us and humbling us all by stepping the fuck up. And I was just asking you about some of the wider support that exists. You were telling us that the group that you started with decided that a better use of their expertise, should we say, was to set up a fund. Also, I would just say, I think that's a good thing. If you realize you can't do the thing that you thought you would, but you can do something else and you can be important, that's actually that's the process working. That's you figuring the thing out, and you don't know it until you start it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, everyone has a role. Yep.
Exactly. And it's okay for those roles to change, and I think they probably will. But in the kind of wider, here's my thing again, holistic and puzzle of support for people who are being terrorized by ICE in your community, what's the kind of stuff that's being set up for people, and maybe the kind of things where people in the audience who are like, okay, I don't want to go to the gun range, like I don't want to be that person. Fair enough. But maybe I can be the person that drives the car, or maybe I can be the person that gives the money to the fund, or something like this. If you could tell us a bit about that, please.
Yeah. Well, um, I so they're not the only group in town that's helping in terms of like the overall sphere of immigration, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I just I just started getting involved with a different group as well, who they actually do Ice Watch.
Right.
Um, now I what you were describing earlier was like following
Mm-hmm.
ICE and like basically getting understand analyzing and understanding their patterns and then using that to predict. And I think that's fucking base. We don't have we don't have that.
I
I
mean,
wish
I
we
don't know
did.
how effective it is. Do you know what I mean? Like, all I know is that I think it's things people are trying. I have no idea how much of an impact like is happening on the ground. It was just a tweet,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, no, yeah. So the way the other group, um, they they basically damn, how do they? Oh yeah, so you just kind of report it. Individuals report it, and then they go check out like what's going on. Like, is this actually ICE? What law enforcement official is it?
Mm, mm,
What so that's how we're doing it where I live,
mm-hmm.
and I will say there's the metropolitan area in which one lives is going to vary,
Mm.
um, and so that can cause logistical issues, um, and uh, and so with there's like somewhere in California, there is a lot of separation in metropolitan areas. However, they have a history of protesting solidarity, and so they do have a lot of help out there. So they get around those issues.
They have like
But
a
I
pre-established kind of activisty base that's got like a
yeah.
skeleton, and they've been able to build on it, kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yes. For us, we are burgeoning. We're very new. Uh, and so like you get, you, I mean, that is, I'll admit, like that's kind of a struggle in where I live. Um, but I would say like if you're trying to do this in your community, as one of the things to keep in mind is like structure of the city in and of itself, and um second part is oh yeah, so what kind of groups are already out there, and of course if you have the resources to start your own thing, how does that look, how does that fit into the whole puzzle?
Mm.
um so yeah, I think that's
And I guess
answers
so.
your
There'll be
question.
some people who are like, we're providing food for, like, let's say you said the dynamic of the breadwinner of the family is taken out, and then there's a mum left
Mhm.
with kids, and it's suddenly like you got a mortgage to pay or something, and your entire fucking family has been destroyed and torn apart, and you have no income in capitalist America in 2026, and you've got kids to feed, and you've got to take them to school. You're like, we will help you feed your kids, kind of thing, is like that kind of thing. We can do a walk where the kids come to school together. And I mean, it kind of sickens me to think about this, but like the fact that they're taking kids from schools, aren't they? They're like waiting outside of schools and stealing children, which like
Yep.
I I mean,
I think this morning I saw like, I want to say it was either 3 or 5 that have been taken already in schools, from school kids.
and that's like super traumatizing for like everybody involved. I mean, I don't know how you would do security in school, and I'm certain that most of the teachers there will. I don't know actually. You know more than me. I'm like a white person from bumfuck UK. Could teachers be mega fucking racist as well and like be a part of the problem there? Teachers are
Yeah,
very
no.
coded as progressive in the UK.
You will get a couple of uh, yeah. So there is examples of teachers that have been that are incredibly racist. I
And
do
enjoy it
remember,
and revel in it and are a part of it.
yeah. So like in the beginning of this whole bullshit, there's a teacher in Texas that said, "Hey ICE, I have a lot of people speaking Spanish in my school. Can you guys come? Can you guys come? Can you come to this school?"
Oh my
Uh,
god.
so so yeah, they unfortunately those teachers do exist. As a matter of fact, a lot of my
Ugh.
teachers in elementary school were pretty right wing,
Wow.
actually.
Okay. Yeah. Fucking hell. That's disgusting. And it's then who the fuck are the kids to trust? And then parents, like maybe their neighbors have had someone taken and they're taking their kids to it's so horrifying hearing about this shit. Like I cannot imagine what families go through. I mean, seriously, I'm like I'm so glad to hear people like you are doing things though, because I can't imagine how scary it is. Like when you see people who are like, people who are like
Just-
involved in the fight back, like getting fucking blasted in the face, like they're making it very blunt now, right? Aren't they? Where like the state violence will be enacted on you if you get in the way of this process as well, particularly if you're a
Pretty much.
fucking gay bitch, like, or whatever. Like he called her a fucking bitch or whatever. It's definitely because she was queer. I will not shut the fuck up about that, but like it's you get in the way of this process, we will throw the full extent of the violence of the state at you as well. um do you feel a sense of solidarity with the people that you do this kind of work with through doing it? Do you feel closer
Oh
to your community?
yeah. My so like, yes, but I'm only saying no because yes and no, but like the no is like because I don't really know my neighbors that well.
Hmm.
And so like ideally you and your neighbors would be able to create your own ice watch group, um and because if anything goes wrong, you're all going to be outside. You're all going to come out, you're all going to get whistles, whatever, blow the horn. You're um but that's why I said yes for the group that I actually organize with, but no for like my neighbors.
Right, yeah, got you. So the group that you organize with, this is something I was trying to tell people. I just need to grab something quickly, but I am still listening.
Mhm.
But I think that like organizing and getting involved and trying to like do the thing is very like soul nourishing, because we live right now in a super individualistic fucking extreme late stage capitalism. Like that's the baseline for all of us, right? And then people are like marginalized on top of it and stuff like that, right? We live in a time where isolation can be like mega fucking felt, like really felt, and people are online shouting at each other a lot. um and I'm like, get out and do the thing. You'll connect with people, you'll learn how to communicate with people and talk about these ideas in ways that are not shouting at each other on the internet. And I think that you'll feel better and you'll feel more able to tackle challenges. Some of them are too big for us to tackle, you know? Um, but I don't know. I'm interested to see what your experience has been like in those groups. I'm listening. I'm just grabbing a. I've got to take a tablet.
Mm-hmm. Um, so the main group that I organize with, they take inspirations from the Black Panthers,
Fuck
actually.
yes.
Um,
Very nice. You're so
yeah.
fucking sick. You're so fucking radical. It's been so fucking cool to watch. I fucking love it. Like I knew it.
And they actually um, also take the style. They're the like the main person in the group. They
Red
have went
Hampton.
and like visited the Zapatistas. Oh no, sorry, no, not the. I was not the Black Panthers. I'm going back to my own group.
Right.
But no, like they went to Mexico and like they went and it seems like they've taken pictures with the Zapatistas. They try to
They fought with the
uh
Zapatistas.
yeah,
Awesome.
they were there. Yeah, it's really cool. I saw the pictures and like they even took video footage. I think they even interviewed the Zapatistas, and I'm like, holy
Awesome.
fuck, that's so fucking cool.
International, like local solidarity, international solidarity. That's fucking sick.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I think they're one of the the their like core beliefs is, I hope I don't botch it, but they say we think locally, no, think internationally but act locally. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
I love that. Oh my god, that's like it's actually kind of validating to hear you say that because that's how I feel. Like I'm like, what the fuck can do about Greenland or something? You know, I can't do probably nothing apart from educate myself on it, but I can change the thing around me and still be committed to that international project by wanting it and seeking and building alliances with people who are trying to do that overseas. An example being when I went to Kenya, I met members of the Communist Marxist Party of Kenya. They're fucking sick, man. I met like a group of gay fucking Marxists at Pride in Kenya. Like, what's what was 2025, right? But I stay in contact with them, and like we exchange sort of like siprets of information, and I see it as like a mutual exchange of understandings and dialectics being shared. Of like, this is where we're at with organizing. This is where we're at with organizing. Unfortunately, my updates are like the left is being terrible again in the UK. We might get there, guys. Right? We were fucking hell. Like, but that's really cool to hear. I personally feel quite validated by that. I mean, like, dude, it's so fucking cool hearing like the shit that you're involved in. I hope that you find it like I hope that you continue to find it like empowering because it might get quite challenging. This might continue for a while. It probably will, right? And
Oh,
this
it's gonna get worse.
yeah. I mean, I try not to be too sensationalist about it, but I don't see how. There's no
I
indication
don't
that
think
it's
it's
going to step down.
sensationalist.
I
No,
mean,
yeah, no, it's not sensationalist. We have to be prepared. You have to be prepared for the absolute fucking worst. They're already doing door knocking operations over in Minnesota, and they're going to just keep expanding because with the big bullshit bill, um, it's they got more funding. They became more well funded than like most of the goddamn militaries in the fucking world. Um, and so yeah,
fuck.
it's they're not. They have all this money. They don't know what the fuck to do with. It's not gonna get any better. It's just gonna get worse.
Fair enough. Yeah, maybe facing the brunt reality is maybe there's something I should do as well. You're right there. I think. Um,
Yeah,
how
and I
how?
mean,
Sorry, go on.
No, it's okay. No, I was just gonna say, I don't think that facing the reality and is necessarily, I is necessarily bad only because it gives you a chance to think through the problem, and say, hey, so if this escalates, okay, we have a plan.
Yeah.
Put plans in motion, instead of being reactive, being proactive. So I think it's good. I think it's good to, it's not necessarily pessimistic. Black pilling would be like, it's going to get worse. We're all going to die. Nobody's going to do anything about
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. We might as well do nothing and give up, right? Because that's where
Exactly.
that,
Oh, fuck that shit. We're
yeah.
going to do something.
Fuck
We're going
yes.
to, yes.
Fuck yes. Like, I mean, honestly, I'm so glad we had this conversation. It's been great talking to you about this. I hope that people who've watched kind of feel more empowered to take the steps if they're not already to go and maybe find the sort of spaces that we acknowledge there might be like a rural urban divide and a state divides that there are in America, but there probably is something local to you. And I'm just going to say, like, maybe if you want to step up, maybe these are the kind of things that you could do. And yeah, it's awesome to hear. I have a question for you. What I think that Democrats are going to try and steal a lot of the anti-ICE momentum and sentiment and shape it into a, well, we need to just like train the ICE better. Whereas we know we need ICE fuck off. Like, systemic versus reformist approach, right? Like the structure of like white supremacy and borders that exist in settler colonial America is illegitimate, full stop, right? And you want people to get to the point where they're angry with that and they understand that. The Democrats, I think, are going to be like, we can train this away. We can get we can do. I actually think they're going to be like, we can do ICE better. I think that's going to be their approach. You then have to engage with that, with people who are being flooded with this idea that, oh, I don't need to get involved. I don't need to do anything. The Democrats are going to train the ICE to shoot the Venezuelan, but not the white woman, which is what they mean, right? Yeah, like, exactly. In From everything that you've learned from organizing in your experience, how do you feel you would begin, apart from wanting to punch these people, once that moment has passed? How do
No
you
violence.
feel?
No,
Yeah.
we would never.
No, we don't do violence.
We don't condone that.
No, no. I mean, it wouldn't be productive though, genuinely. But like, out of being like super fucking frustrated with that, but
Yeah.
how do you feel that, I guess, not just yourself, but like people can approach this to be like, no, like, this happened under the Dems watch before there was fucking camps, there was people's lives ruined. It's the economies of scale that make this so visceral, and there is an upscaling of an element of brutality, I acknowledge, but underneath it, the structures that built people in camps, like, come on, kids taken away from their families was there before and might be there when Trump is gone. So it's like you got to get someone on board until well after Trump's gone, because they might think that Trump's the problem. How would you go about that?
Like how would I go about like talking to them, you mean?
Yeah, or just any musings, I guess, you have on that, as a, because you obviously think and talk a lot about politics as well. But like, I wonder what your thoughts are on it, kind of in the entirety, because I think a lot of airspace will be literally devoted to what people said. Yeah, like better death squads, better death squads. We can make better death squads, and doing immigration better being a key part of the DNC. Like, which is gonna, they're gonna Gavin Newsom it again, you know?
Yeah. Um so okay, so what do I think about it? I mean, I can tell you what I'm going to do. If it's my thought process with this is, if you're not saying abolish ICE, like kind of like Zoran just did, then let me get you the fuck out of here. Let me primary you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use a very teeny tiny little amount that I have of power, um, in the voting booth. um,
No, but that's fine.
to
I think
guys,
electoralism has its place. I completely respect you. I
it's true.
agree. Like, there's a piece of shit. There's a piece of shit who's like ICE APAC, and there's someone who is not. I understand you being like, fuck that guy. Getting rid of that guy makes organizing easier. So why wouldn't you do that? You know.
Mhm.
I've never understood this all or nothing sentiment that some people have. I know
Me
it's not
neither.
enough. I don't think, maybe some people think it's enough to just vote. You didn't though, and I don't. And actually, a lot of people I talk to know that it's not enough. So I'm not quite sure where it comes from,
Mhm.
but maybe it does exist out there. But what about like in your
Old people, I
community?
think.
Sorry, what did you say? Sorry, love. I
I
interrupted.
was just saying, sorry. No, I was just saying. I think it's more like the people that tend to think that voting is enough tend to be older.
And maybe more comfortable, right? The like, have you seen that person who has? It's like a meme now. They're like, if Kamala Harris won, I'd be at brunch, and it's just like you're so fucking out of touch. Like you're such a white feminist liberal. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like kids were in camps already, you know. Um,
Yeah.
and it's that like I want my luxuries back. I'm seeing injustice, and I still center myself. And I think you probably encounter that quite a bit, right? Of people, do you get people being like, I can't wait for it to go back to like what it was before, miraculously?
Yes, I even get it in my chats as well. I know. Yeah, so it's definitely there. And when it comes to like people in my personal life, most of them don't really seem to get it, right? They don't really seem to get the they don't really seem to get the whole issue, right? They only see what's in front of them. And there's also, so I think there's like two main two main parties to this that fall within that spectrum that you're talking about. One is the ones that are just ignorant, and choose to but like I don't even think it's their fault that because they're too, a lot of them are too busy to really do the research that it takes to know this kind of
Hmm.
stuff. But it is also, some of them choose to be ignorant. Like I
Yep.
okay, so um what was I saying? So the two parties, those that are ignorant by choice, and then those are that are ignorant, um, but also because that those that kind of, so the choice. They were making the decision to do it because it makes them feel better. So like it makes them feel better to dig their head into their asses rather than just, it is, it's
Yeah.
true, because it does. And some of them are, like I said, they probably, some of them are older, so they probably think, well, I can't do anything about it anyways. And like
Are they quite
I
like
get them.
privileged, like quite comfortable middle class people, or do you find it's broader than
Not
that?
all of them. No, it's definitely broader than that.
The white
Yeah,
supremacy is
definitely.
broader. Yeah, fair enough. But do you find that frustrating, or do you find that shit makes you like more angry and more impassioned to do things? Because then it's that
I've
like,
gotten
if
used
you're
to
not
it.
gonna do shit, then I have to, so I'm just gonna turn up now.
I just gotten used to it. I try to talk to people. I guess I try, especially with people, with them. I try to meet them with where they are at.
Yeah.
Um, But I do hate when they're like, well, let's just not talk about the kidnappings. Can we like focus on something positive? And I'm like,
what the fuck is positive about ICE Gestapo people kidnapping people?
exactly. They're
Can
like,
we
let's
go
not
back
think
to
about that.
brunch?
Just, you can't do anything about it.
I don't know. I
It's
think
very
I feel
wrong.
people that are like indifferent to this. I mean, how can you see what's happening in Palestine, Sudan, what they're trying to do in Venezuela, what they're trying to do to Iran, what they're trying to do like in most areas of the world? They can get their fucking grubby fingers on that you don't like give a shit, and you don't get outraged at the injustice, and then you see it in your own homes, in your own communities, and you want to turn a blind eye. Like, I swear, me and my friends were talking about this the other day. Like, American propaganda is like, fuck, man, it's so strong. Like, I recognize it's so hard for I did Camp America, which is I worked a summer in a Girl Scout camp, and as a musician teacher for the kids, which was very cute. Like all the little girls starting rock bands, and then they had like a little rock show. Oh my god, it was so much fun. Um, but I met a lot of Americans, and like to put, sorry America, but like it was Kentucky.
Cool.
It was Kentucky. It was just like what we think is the stereo. When you think of like, oi, bruv, I've got no fucking teeth and fish and chips or something for a British person, which is like only a little bit true in Britain. Like, it was proper like, hell yeah, I love being an American, freedom. Obama's a gay Muslim terrorist. I was in Kentucky, remember? And like, I'm a bit like, what the fuck? Or like, this is the year that I'm being radicalized by people at university, and then I go into this space and I'm like, I will tell you this, I remember they're like, let's go look at the grave of Colonel Sanders because we can go and like celebrate him. And I was like, I am a rural Brit, but I think that that man was a slaver. Like, I think that's a thing that he did and he really liked doing. I don't want to do that. And I remember being made to feel like I was like the weird one. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I don't really want to go do that because of many reasons. And like, this guy seems like an asshole. And they, you know, when people in their head, and this is what I think you're getting at, apolitical. I don't see no politics here, no kidnapping. Can't we just ignore you? And like, the world is like fucking blasting, shooting people, and they can't ignore it. No politics here, you know. I can imagine it's really frustrating.
It is, yes.
Yeah. I mean, I send so much solidarity to the organization that you. I send a lot of solidarity to you. I found it personally like very inspiring to hear about shit that people are getting up to try and, I guess, change things for the good and try to help people with, I think, a pretty balanced understanding of what can be done, given all the constraints, financial constraints and things, whilst maintaining an aura of hope and solidarity. And also, bam, I get raided. We've just raided into you, but I can stay on for a little bit longer to finish up the convo if you'd like.
Thank you.
No worries. I will stay on, don't worry. I normally do this when, so if we were like hanging out in real life, like I just leave. I like just leave. And like, I've had friends be like,
the Irish goodbye?
we don't use that term. It's not an Irish, that's a very